for today. There's a look at the small chance of rain, few showers popping up. If you do see the rainfall today, it will be short-lived. Temps today, 87 in Fort Myers, 88 for Golden Gate, and more 80s towards Port Charlotte. Oh, crazy to think, right? It's time already for spring training games as we have the Braves taking on the Rays, Charlotte Sports Park on Sunday, and then the Red Sox and the Twins plan on a very warm game, temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. And as promised, here's that pollen forecast, and I'll just be frank with you, I've been struggling with it, sniffling, sneezing here. So the extra tissues, the pollen medicine, you name it, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it will be at moderate to high levels. So we also will be at some pretty high levels with our temperatures, upper 80s to near 90, 1 or 2 stray showers possible for the weekend. And then we do have another chance of rain for the middle part of next week as a front knocks down our temperatures a few degrees.
And we still have those lanes closed on Lee Boulevard heading eastbound. 2 eastbound lanes shut down, only 1 lane open. So we know this is a very heavily used part of Lee Boulevard. This is from that fire at Family Dollar. That's between Gunnery and Sunshine. So do not head to Lee Boulevard if you're heading that way. Stick to 8th Street, or you have 23rd as well as State Road 82 to avoid Lee Boulevard for right now. Also, my commuters in Collier County, if you're heading out towards Immokalee Road, traffic is starting to get very busy heading east of 41 towards Goodlet Frank. Also, Goodlet Frank is still up to speed right now. We know it gets busier later, but it looks great if you're heading north to Vanderbilt. Eastbound delays beginning on Golden Gate, heading east to Livingston Road. My Collier commuters heading out towards Marco Island, 951 is still up to speed. Starting from the East Trail to Marco is an 8-minute commute. That's Rink News traffic.
Well, Zillow is now buying homes instead of just letting you browse them. Ahead at 6, why the company is now cutting out the middleman and making cash offers on houses.
And emotions pouring out after a man who's already been through so much loses his home. Right after the break, what's next after the boat he was living on was beached?
.5 Fox News. Right all along.
What's that switch in your kitchen do?
Nothing. Flick it on, off, nothing happens.
Weird.
Now, if it would turn on the overhead fan, that would be cool. Can't get that to work either.
Frustrating.
This is what's wrong with humanity. We think we got it all figured out, but we don't even know what the switch is supposed to do.
Dave.
Think we can build a spaceship that takes us to Mars when we can't even get a switch to work?
Hey, Dave.
I swear, we're never going to leave the solar system. We'll be stuck on this planet forever until we all go extinct.
Dave, what's the best case scenario?
Best case? Well, I make a call, someone comes and connects that switch to something, like maybe that overhead fan.
That's best?
Well, sure, but...
That's Best. Best Home Services. They have 4 electricians and 4 trucks right now waiting for your call. They'd have that switch looked after in no time.
Well, I feel a bit silly now.
GetBest.com. When something goes wrong, we're waiting.
So maybe
we can go to Mars.
Happy Valentine's sale. This is Marty.
Chevy buyers are kissing your deals goodbye, Marty.
No, they're not.
Everybody's hooking up with Victory Lane Chevrolet.
Okay,
it's like a marriage made in Detroit.
I think they're made in Warren, Michigan.
Okay, wherever. Point is, Victory Lane Chevy has fantastic deals during their Sweetheart Savings Event. 500 to choose. It's love at first sight, Marty.
Hey, stop, would you?
Everybody finds their perfect match.
Just stop.
On hundreds of Victory Lane Silverados and Equinoxes. That's plural for Equinox, right?
Who knows?
Or is it Equini? During Victory Lane Chevrolet's Sweetheart Savings Event, fall in love with a new Chevy today. Kiss your old trade goodbye. And say hello to new 2021 Chevy Silverados. Just $375 a month with 0 down. New 2021 Traverse, just $389 a month, 0 down. And you'll never be brokenhearted with our goal of 100% credit approvals. We'll see you at Victory Lane Chevrolet. Online, victorylanechevrolet.com. Find new roads. Stock number SC1148 and E1006. 39-month lease, 10K miles per year. Taxes and fees extra. All rebates to dealer. Offers for current lessees with approved credit and do not combine. Expires 2/28/2021.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Miami area attorneys. Online at CordellCordell.com. Se habla español. Legal services available in English and Spanish. Miami, Florida. Lisa Carges, Florida resident partner. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. Announcer is a paid presenter.
A walk and some ice cream with someone sounds like the perfect treat.
Making pizza with someone who's as into it as me? What could be better?
Ready to meet people who love to do the same things you do? It's easy. 1, open laptop. 2, go to OurTime.com. 3, start for free. Our Time is the #1 dating site made for singles over 50. It's easy to use and can help you find people who just want to do something fun. Find someone over 50 who loves to do what you do on Our Time. Go to OurTime.com today and start for free.
92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
A sailor in need of help this morning after the boat he lives on ended up beached in the Gulf. Now the boat's stranded right near the Barefoot Beach Preserve. 6 months ago, after his wife passed away, Atlanta native Randy Weaver spent his life savings on that sailboat. But after 2 storms and an equipment failure, his new home ended up there, run aground on a sandbar off Barefoot Beach.
I've never been homeless, and I've always worked hard. But I guess God's got something planned for me. I feel like Job and Jonah wrapped in a package.
Oh, your heart goes out to him. Weaver's working with the salvage company to get his boat to shore as soon as possible.
Southwest Florida healthcare workers will have some extra cash very soon. Starting in May, NCH in Naples will be giving all employees a 5% raise. There will also be $0 medical insurance premiums, PTO cash out at 100%, and 5 free meals each month in the cafeteria.
Breaking news ahead at 6 o'clock. This is a live look at the scene in Lehigh Acres where a fire was just put out in the last 60 minutes. Details on how this will impact your commute ahead.
Scene ready to go, just waiting for the green light. Next in the Live Center, the critical step happening in just hours to get you the dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
And planning to fly the friendly skies once you're vaccinated. Next, what you need to know before you take off.
92.5 Fox News. Right, all along.
Window World is a family-owned business, and we really mean family. And with a family-owned business, you get a business that is looking to treat everyone right. We live in this community. We want to take care of our friends and neighbors.
With our family-owned business, we are backed by a company that believes in top-quality products at the best price available. That way, more people can afford energy-saving windows and doors, as well as top-quality hurricane-rated, high-impact windows that also offer you some increased security to your home.
And being backed by our parent company, we're going to be around for a long time. The guarantee Window World offers is the absolute best guarantee you are ever going to find in a window replacement company. If anything goes wrong with your new windows, Window World, that's us, and Window World Corporate will stand behind it and get it fixed.
No high pressure, no sitting in your home for hours trying to get you to make a decision right away, but simply good business to our friends and neighbors. And when we're through installing your new windows, we'll stand behind those windows with the best guarantee in the window replacement business. See for yourself. Window World, simply the best for less.
Aaron Walker here. Looking for quality tires at a discount price? Hey, look no further. We got you covered at the all-new Naples Nissan Discount Tire Center. Sedan tires starting at $69 per tire, or $388 for a set of 4. SUV tires starting at $87 per tire, or $448 for a set of 4. Mounting and balance included, folks. Over 800 tires in stock, all major brands for all makes and models. That's right. We've got tires for all makes and models. Yes, the all-new Discount Tire Center may be located here at Naples Nissan, but we'll hook up that Toyota, Ford, or Chevy you're driving too. Southwest Florida, if you need new tires, regardless of what kind of car you're driving, you're definitely going to want to check out the grand opening sale we got going on here at the brand new Naples Nissan Discount Tire Center on Pine Ridge Road, or visit naplesnissan.com. Offers on select brands and models. Cannot be combined and excludes tax and shop fees. See dealer for details.
I was asked the other day if I could explain romance. Hi, it's Joseph Edison. I pondered that for a few moments. Wow, I'm not sure. Romance, it's a mystery like the deep blue sea. Romance is when somebody makes more time to spend with their sweetie. And we help people do that. Closet Factory's master designers can make time for more date nights. And better organization clears the mind, giving you and your sweetie time to better concentrate on each other. Ah, romance.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 6 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
Russia condemns the U.S. airstrikes on Syria. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Those airstrikes went after Iran-backed militia.
We're confident in the target that we went after. We know what we hit.
That's Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. Fox's Simon Owen has more live.
Dave, reports from the Middle East suggest at least one fighter was killed, although some accounts say at least 17 people died. The Pentagon says the airstrikes were retaliation targeting militia groups backed by Iran following recent attacks against American personnel in Iraq. Russia, which is heavily involved in the war in Syria, says it strongly condemns the strikes, insisting Syria's sovereignty should be respected. Dave?
Simon, 2 U.S. warships in the Persian Gulf are dealing with coronavirus outbreaks. About a dozen sailors infected on the USS San Diego and others stricken on the cruiser USS Philippine Sea. A COVID outbreak last year on an aircraft carrier afflicted more than 1,100 sailors. One died.
We have doubled the daily vaccination rate from where it was when we took office.
President Biden marking the 50 millionth COVID vaccine shot since his inauguration, reiterating there should be enough doses for every American by the end of July. A third version of the vaccine could soon be approved, under consideration today.
The Food and Drug Administration's independent advisory committee will review the Johnson & Johnson data on its COVID-19 vaccine, then vote on whether or not it will recommend it for emergency use.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Unlike Pfizer and Moderna, this vaccine is just one dose. The House plans to vote today on a $1.9 trillion COVID financial aid plan, but one provision, a $15 minimum wage, cannot be included in the Senate's version. The parliamentarian rejected it.
To determine that the minimum wage increase does not qualify under special budget reconciliation rules. Now, that was met with disappointment at the White House. Speaker Pelosi also disappointed, saying the minimum wage provision will stay in today's bill when they vote.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. America's listening to Fox News.
This update is presented by Johnston Spinal Care, the leader in spinal decompression. Find them online at 596back.com.
Wink News traffic.
Good Friday morning. Eastbound lanes on Lee Boulevard are shut down. 2 lanes heading east towards Sunshine. 1 lane is open. All westbound lanes are open. And this is from a fire at Family Dollar right there at Terry Avenue. So if you're heading east and west between Gunnery and Sunshine, it's a place to avoid right now, really. I would go ahead and stick to 8th Street, 23rd or 82. Also, call your commuters. We're getting busy on Immokalee Road heading east towards Goodlett Frank. Also, a delay building in Collier on Goodlett Frank if you're heading northbound towards Vanderbilt, and Golden Gate, just a tap on the brakes heading east to the interstate. The Trip to the Minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After the cool start, we actually will be close to records for today. Can't rule it out in Fort Myers. Temps topping out in the mid to upper 80s. Mixture of sunshine and clouds. A few isolated showers can't be ruled out as well during the afternoon and evening hours, but overall, the rain coverage limited. Into the weekend, more record highs are possible. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s to even near 90. A lot of beach and pool time. Mixture of sunshine and clouds. 1 or 2 stray showers are possible, and then more 80s with a chance of rain for the middle part of next week. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Drive the lefties at work crazy with the facts. Get up to speed. Mornings with Drew Stevens.
92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
True relief for back and neck pain. In my office, Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, every day I talk with patients that for so many years just suffered with back or neck pain. Many just assuming that it was normal or something they had to live with. They'd tried injections, epidurals, or even surgery with no success, always looking for a chair to relieve pain or always dreading pain while sleeping or getting out of bed. It's time to treat the root of the problem. Please don't think there are no other options. You can overcome problems from sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, bulging degenerative discs, or scoliosis. Non-surgical spinal decompression can change your life. Think of how much happier you'd be without pain. This Medicare-friendly treatment combines science and technology to offer a state-of-the-art, non-surgical procedure that is remarkably effective. We always offer a free telephone consultation and free x-rays to see if you're a candidate for spinal decompression. Johnston Spinal Care, we're here for you. Call 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
It's a new year and a fresh start. And a good time to freshen up your air conditioning system and indoor air quality.
With our Southwest Florida weather, it's a good idea to have your system cleaned and checked by a conditioned air technician at least twice a year. Left unattended, small issues become big issues. Cars need regular maintenance, so do air conditioning systems. Conditioned Air, the comfort people since 1962. 1-888-COLD-AIR and online at conditionedair.com. License number CAC 1819590.
Getting a little extra is always a good thing. Getting up to an extra $8,000 for your old car, that's incredible. For 3 days only, hurry to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral for the incredible trade-in event. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday only, get an extra $8,000 overbook value for your vehicle when you put it towards a new Nissan. Your $2,000 vehicle is now $10,000. Your $10,000 vehicle is now worth $18,000. You get an extra $8,000. Sutherland is taking all trade-ins, no matter the year, make, or model. So if you thought your car was only worth a few $100, not anymore. It's worth up to $8,000 at Sutherland Nissan. Incredible? You bet it is. And it's why this is the incredible trade-in event. But hurry, this event is now through Monday only. If you ever wanted to get a lot of extra money for your old car, this is it. Rush to Sutherland Nissan Fort Myers and the all-new Sutherland Nissan Cape Coral, your used car megastore. Shop online at NissanSales.com or CapeCoralNissan.com. If it doesn't say Sutherland, you paid too much. See dealer for details.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need certainty in the home buying process with a loan that fits your life, Rocket can.
From 92.5 Fox News.
This is what Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. So glad you're joining us today. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line we stream live. DrewSteele.com. Steele has 3 E's. I have to remind everybody constantly. It's a thing.
But they're not all together.
Well, they're not all together. Another reason why I have to explain.
It's like goggles. There's 3 G's in goggles, but they're not all together.
Yeah, right. Well, and you're not helping. Okay. As you can tell, we are live at CPAC 2021 is where we are right now, broadcasting live day 2. And we are excited because, first of all, TracyBeanz, good morning, number 1.
Good
number
morning.
2, she's. Am I flipping this so people? Am I doing this?
Fine.
Okay, fine. All right, there she is. It's
Yay.
TracyBeanz, Uncovered DC. Okay, there she is. And to start off the morning this way, Michael
I don't
Pelka.
like her.
What?
I don't like her.
Really? Tell me more about why. Why
love
is that?
her.
Okay, there you go. You see what he did there? It is early, isn't it?
The first thing that I thought was, Steele, Steeel. That's the first thing I thought.
That's not the first thing.
Where?
3
And
E's
so when he said they're not in a row, I was like, oh. And I felt stupid for a second.
The marketing people told me it's the best thing to say is Steele with 3 E's because they'll totally get it. And now you've thrown the marketing department completely off.
That is my job.
So
I am there to think of the absolute weirdest thing that could possibly be in any given situation.
Did you hire the same marketing and branding people as Hasbro?
You're talking about what? The potato
Senor
head?
Potato Head.
What do we do about that? Do we wrap up? Why not start this way? Is this okay with you?
Yes.
It's really about you this morning.
It's all about Tracy.
The fact that you even got up to join us this morning this early.
You see the face? I'm smiling.
Yes, you are smiling. Well, it's because of him. I know that. Is that what it is?
No, not
Okay.
just him.
Okay,
He's
good.
great.
Okay, he is. Okay. All right, go for the potato head. What do we do with all the Toy Story kids? The generations.
Canceled.
It's done.
They're gone.
Is that it?
Gotta cancel.
I mean, do you put a disclaimer? Is that what happens now? Like they've been doing?
Yeah, and it's like a car recall. Everyone's going to have to send in their Mr. Potato Heads, and we're going to shave the Mr. off of it.
Did everybody miss what happened yesterday with Hasbro?
No, what happened?
I hate to ruin your story. They got a lot of backlash.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they came out and said, we're not doing that. We're just changing the main brand to Potato Head. But Mr. and Mrs. Potato Head will still exist.
Sure they did.
Oh,
brilliant.
that is so lame.
Okay, but what about the 80s pop one-hit wonders Mr. who gave us Broken Wings? Are they just going to disappear?
No, they're going to be canceled, and any statue or T-shirt will be burned.
Yeah.
It will be a protest against the Mr. That's
haven't there already been protests against the Mr. for some of the music? I mean, if we're going to be honest.
Not for me, Mister.
Not
You better
for
stop.
you.
Mister. But okay, before we end this, if this
We're
goes,
going to end. We just got
Yeah, I
started
know,
here
I
at
know.
CPAC. I know it's early,
I'm
Mike. but
tired. The fish tacos.
The bar
killed me
doesn't open for
yesterday.
at least another hour.
Oh, it's
Go ahead.
open in my room. The Hasbro.
Yeah.
You can't call a company bro. That's
Oh,
cultural
boy.
appropriation.
You're coming up with all of them this morning.
I'm reaching.
No, I don't know. Today, TracyBeanz, say it. Today, in this culture, the way we are right now, the way things are going, cancel-wise, is anything off the table?
No. As a matter of fact, I was watching the dear departed Rush Limbaugh on David Letterman in, I guess it was the early 90s.
Yeah.
And I was old enough to see that live because my dad was a huge Rush Limbaugh fan, so I watched it all the time. Yeah, I know. That's how I turned out this way. It's kind of dangerous. So many of us
Right.
Rush kids. And I said to myself, there's no way that this could ever happen today. Like, nobody could be on Jimmy Kimmel that was conservative.
No.
Right.
No, only
That's
if
true.
there were a picture and they were mocking them.
Right. Or, like, the last time this happened was Fallon with President Trump when he was campaigning, and remember, he tousled the hair.
Yes.
And that was, like, the last time that anything like that has happened. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And even SNL has now removed most mentions of anyone conservative unless they're skewing them.
Some of those skits are pretty funny.
Some
of them
are.
are. If you can laugh at yourself, but if you can't, like
Right.
if you're watching it and you're in your basement, you're like,
So,
you know what I mean?
while we're, I love the basement reference because you know that's happening.
Does it have paneling on it? Wood paneling?
Yes.
Okay, then it's my basement.
Yeah,
Good.
And while we're talking to TracyBeanz of Uncovered DC about the topic of cancellation, you are the queen now in the cancellation world, I think. How are you doing? How's Uncovered DC doing with the battle you've been pressed into?
By the grace of God and because of people like you guys, we're doing good because radio has been a breath of fresh air. And I always loved radio, and everyone's like, oh, it's all about podcast. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Podcast is great, but radio is where it's at. So I've been able to still get information out using this medium, which they'll probably come for next, you know.
Yeah.
But it's been rough. I was ready for it. It was just a matter of time.
So
You know.
you were anticipating it, and
Yes.
if you guys didn't know, Tracy's gotten the boot from the Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, and you're on Isolation Island somewhere.
But I'm not. You know why? Because they also booted all the other normal, lovely people except the blue check marks. So
Yeah.
you're still there. Are you there still?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's the only people talking back to you guys are people that are really angry and hate you. Right? There's
Yeah,
not very many
pretty much.
conservatives on there. So we all got exiled to either Cloud Hub Island or Gab or Parler Island. So that's where we are. And now Twitter can't shadow ban me anymore, nor they can they put me in a box. And if I Gab something or Cloud Hub something, I know exactly how many people saw it, how many times it was shared, where it's going, and nobody can stop it.
All right.
This is why I love TracyBeanz.
This is what they've done.
Now, Tracy mentioned podcasting not being as powerful as radio, but it's powerful, and you have a great podcast, Dark to Light.
Yes, you do.
And people, if you're gonna hang with us and with Tracy on UncoveredDC.com, you gotta hang with the podcast too.
The best thing was the time that we had Mike on.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Do I even want to know where this is going?
He made this
Yeah.
show so much better because he's the clip machine.
Yeah. Yes, he is. Yes, he
You
is.
need a clip of, anything. He's got it. Like, wait, hold on a second. I've got that.
I'm old. I keep everything.
That is not how you sound.
I'm like a clip hoarder. If somebody says something dumb, I'm like, ooh, save that.
I know. You're.
There's there's a biscuit from the Red Lobster in your pocket, right? Still from last night's dinner, is that right?
No, I'm still suffering.
Actually, if it would be wrapped in a napkin.
It would be.
Yeah, let's do that the right
and
way.
The napkin would have show prep notes on it. Because as any true broadcaster will tell you, at the bar or at the restaurant, you take your cocktail napkins and your pen, you go, Jen Psaki, 2017 tweet on
We're
Syria.
going to need to circle back to that one.
What? The Psaki?
You don't get it?
I'm a little slow. That's really quick. See how quick she is?
I know.
Come on, guys.
You know, the one of the things that I've been talking to people about here is, and you probably know better than anybody, and as far as pushing back against what's been happening to us,
Mm-hmm.
like this the fear that was there before
Yeah.
has to go away.
Yeah.
In some ways it has, and in some ways people, even with the former president taking the lead on a national level, pushing back, and then some even locally and statewide that are willing to do it. If we don't realize that we have to continue to vote for people who are going to be that way, then
it's too late.
We're in trouble. We're in
Yeah.
big trouble, right? I mean, that's...
Yeah, because there's going to come a point, given the authoritarianism they're showing their proclivities for just now,
Yeah.
there will come a point where it's too late for us to fight back. I know it sounds kind of like, what's that word?
Foreboding.
Yeah, I mean, but it's true. Like, they'll grab enough power that at some point it will be impossible for us
Yeah.
to fight back. So we need to do it now. And, you know, we're seeing a ton of federalism go on, which is beautiful.
Right.
So lots of states, especially Florida, are taking it upon themselves to fight back against why an administration with, I mean, how many executive orders do you need? You've got the Congress, you've got the Senate. It's very strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's ruling by executive order. We could pass legislation. Aren't these people excited to pass legislation? No. I mean, what is going on? It's very strange to me.
Well, they don't have to do anything.
Right.
With that.
Yeah.
I know, but the other thing is, do you see this talk now about them wanting to take the sole power for the nuclear weapons away from him? All the Democrats are coming out and saying that.
Right.
It seems to be a mishmash of things. I don't think they're very
Well,
organized.
you know, I kind of envision the conversation with Joseph
napkin.
Robinette Biden Jr. This way. Grandpa,
Yes.
we're taking away the keys to the car because we love you. We will still take you wherever you want to go, whoever you want to
He's looking lovingly into my eyes right now.
You can talk about it, Grandpa, but you just can't drive anymore. That's kind of where this is going. And what do they know that they're not telling us?
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know if it matters what they've told. I mean, we all know, right?
Yeah, I guess we know what they're doing.
You have the police chief come out and say that there are, you know, extremist groups that want to attack the State of the Union address. This to me means, okay, Joe, we know you're not going to be able to make it through this thing.
I'm throwing a penalty flag right now, though. I'm throwing a penalty flag on you.
Uh-oh.
Because, and rarely do I get to lord my knowledge over Tracy Beanz when it comes to governmental issues. It is not a State of the Union address until next year. It is a joint session of Congress address.
Wow, he did that. Look, she's getting misty now.
No, I'm going on the discipline couch later.
She's also looking at her watch. I gotta go.
Oh, ATN is waiting for me in hair and makeup.
I didn't know that. That's
Yes.
new to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
The first joint session of Congress that a president addresses in the first year is not a State of the Union because he hasn't really.
Oh, you're right. He hasn't had a chance
yeah.
to get the State of the Union. And he probably won't do that for at least another 10, 11.
Now, by the way, if you had, 36 days, 35 days in the lottery on how long it would take Joe Biden to bomb a foreign country, you claim your prize today?
That would not. I would never in a million years have thought what the news
Sooner?
that came out yesterday.
You had under?
No, over.
Did you think that was a warranted strike at all?
No,
or?
no. I'm trying to figure out. I mean, like everybody else, when I was sitting and I saw the news come out, I was surprised at. I was with some people that were, let's just say,
neoconservative.
Yeah.
They're here, you know.
I love that you
let's
whispered it.
Let's just say there was a little bit of confusion and a little bit of giddiness and a little bit of. It was a weird reaction.
It's almost like they're chest bumping that they're going to go after Iran as they feed them money through the Hermes Strait or something.
That's right.
Right. How does this look? Looks good. Okay. It's odd.
You know, it's I'm okay with it because Iran's launched 3 attacks on us. No, I'm just a warmongering owner of all bomb-making stocks
with a biscuit in his pocket.
Well, don't be saying that. That sounds dirty.
Only to you. Well, if you
only to me.
No, not only to you, but if you're, I guess it kind of.
Yeah,
all right, I'll come up with something else or
so,
not.
Yeah, are you okay with it? Because I liked your journalistic instincts when we talked about it. Say, are you okay with this?
I'm horrible with foreign policy. It's not my strong suit. I'm not wise enough, and I don't pretend to be. So, I mean, reading what they said about it, I'm like, all right. But, I mean, it's not like President Trump never bombed Syria, right? I mean, he had a couple strikes in Syria himself.
And in 2017, Jen Psaki said, where's the justification for this? Her tweet still exists.
Well, she's circling back to find it.
Again, where's the song? That's a callback.
That would have been like, now I got to go, mic drop, time to go.
See, that's skills right there.
That
That's
is.
comedic skills. She's
Not
a
everybody
natural.
can do that. Not everybody can do that.
I hope I get to come back and sit here again someday.
Okay, like here when we're
You're
here,
gonna
or
circle-
by yourself, or
whatever.
will
If
there
I
be
can play-
anybody else here?
I'm going to circle back around this booth. I will play Hello Darkness, My Old Friend and sit in your chair, remembering what could have been. No, I mean, I don't know. Biden, I don't know who's running Biden. I don't know who his puppet master is. It's obviously not Kamala. She
Ron
was very
Klain.
upset. I don't know. She was mad that she didn't know about this. So they're cutting Kamala out probably because they realize she's completely inept.
Well,
I mean, what does she know?
If she's mad about everything she doesn't know about, she's going to be mad all day.
She probably knows about. I mean, what is going on? Who's even?
But it goes back to, I guess, and I take this back to where I was before, which is when you have legislators that are there who are just already members of the House who are already running re-election the minute they're elected, and all they care about is staying in their cushy spot and staying out of sometimes the limelight, staying out of trouble.
Yeah.
And if somebody else is doing something, don't worry about it. We'll handle this, and we'll make it sound as if you had no idea what was going on, and the re-election's going to be just fine. And that's what they're more concentrated on, getting re-elected and keeping that seat and keeping their place and keeping their cush, than they are about really being bold and getting out there and doing the right thing.
Isn't Kush pot?
He meant cush like as in
cushy
elitism,
jobs.
Cushy.
Yeah.
I know. I was just throwing
I have
it
no
off
idea.
because
Is it? I don't
Tracy's
know.
about to, she has to go, and before
She does? Okay.
before she goes,
All right.
uncoverdc.com.
Yep.
Dark to Light podcast.
Yeah.
But uncoverdc.com, the merch page, the swag.
Ooh,
I
you
actually-
do. Oh wait, let me see.
They have socks.
We do. This is my UDC.
That is awesome.
Don't be showing your UDC on camera.
It's too late. It's
God,
already done.
woman, you're a married
It's
mother.
black for a reason. With white
Because
writing.
it's popular.
Is it? Is that
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's very trendy.
I have good people that work for
You
me.
do. You do.
TracyBeanz, you can come back anytime.
I really love you guys, both of you. This
Well,
was
we love
nice
you
and
back.
fun way to start the day. Seriously.
That's it. I'm going to take that as that. You want to clip something? You want to take a snippet of something, a clip, and tuck it away?
I'm going to make it a ringtone.
That's
There
it.
is nothing that I would have rather done today, honestly, than sit here and talk to you guys. It was just, it was fantastic.
I love Brian Piccolo, and I want you to love him too. Nobody knows where that's from but me.
That is the most obscure
I'll keep
reference.
to loving Mr. Potato Head and
That is a good one. There you go. We still love Mr. Potato Head. Mrs. Potato Head, I'm not really sure.
I do.
All right.
Yeah.
239-479-5592. Thanking TracyBeanz. You make sure you go to the website, uncoverdc.com, and maybe, oh, wait, a little bit of swag. Look at that. And you've got a mask. It's awesome. All right. So you got it all. All right, when we come back, more from CPAC 2021. We've got a busy morning. JennaEllis is going to join us. KashPatel is going to join us this morning.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Father Frank Pavone is going to join us. We've got a busy, busy day at Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. So make sure you're sticking around. And there's a lot of other things. How we doing, Jake? How we doing on time? We good? Because I'm ready to go to break. It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Hey, Alexa, play 92.5 Fox News.
This Fox News Business Report is presented by Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions Incorporated, providing organic and botanical pest control solutions since 2011.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
A rough day on Wall Street. The Dow plunged 560 points. The Nasdaq dived 478, or 3.5%. Tech stocks took a hit as investors turned to bonds, where the yield on the 10-year Treasury closed at the highest level in a year. Beyond Meat is moving beyond testing its plant-based products at fast food restaurants. The company says it's reached agreements with McDonald's and Yum Brands, which owns KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut, and will develop exclusive menu items for each brand. And the pandemic helps spark a revival of the PC market. HP reported holiday shopping pumped up quarterly sales by $1 billion as Americans continue to upgrade their home computer systems. I'm Carmen Roberts. That's your Fox Business Report, invested in you.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I'm an interior designer and I trust Rock Solid.
If you're looking for just the right countertops for your home, the choice is simple. Rock Solid.
I'm a contractor and I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
See why homeowners and contractors choose Rock Solid for the finest countertops. Now with our newly expanded showroom, making your home improvement experience even better.
Rock Solid in the Pink Building, 2240 JNC Boulevard, Naples. Rock Solid. We don't stop at just countertops.
Welcome to Smart Floors. For a limited time, Smart Floors is offering contractor pricing on all CoreTech vinyl luxury flooring. CoreTech, normally priced at $3.99 a square foot, is yours for only $2.99. And CoreTech, that's $5.99, is now only $4.49. No gimmicks, no hassles, just smart service at a smart price. In Naples, next to Home Goods in the Park Shore Plaza.
When shopping for new floor, we stand for so much more. Smart service, smart prices, Smart Floors.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. MortgageWarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154. Equal housing lender.
Trey Radel, your host of The Drive here. In studio with us is Dr. Michael Varvaris. He is a concierge medical doctor. Now, doctor, in today's world, you have to wait sometimes months before you can get an appointment with your doctor. When you get there, it's at least an hour wait to even get in. You barely even speak with your doctor. How are you different?
And everything you mentioned, I'm different. What I'm trying to do is trying to provide the service that I'd want provided or I want a loved one provided. So a patient of mine will be able to see me today or tomorrow. The time spent will be what is needed. A patient might have to wait a little bit because I'm with another patient, but I'll do the same for them. I keep my overhead low in my practice, and it allows me to create individual relationships, which obviously is what it's all about.
Dr. Varvaris, go visit him online at michaelpvarvarismd.com. That's VARVERIS. This is the doctor that gets to the root of the problem, your concierge medical doctor. Visit him online today, michaelpvarvarismd.com.
Good morning, Southwest Florida. I'm Alan with Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions. My 6 years of service to my country taught me a lot about integrity, trust, and getting the job done and getting it done right. I have integrated much of my Army training into the business. And I mean integrated. I'm actually standing here recording in my fatigues. I understand that it may seem that there are more pest control companies than bugs, but our company is very different. A lot of pest control companies are what we call spray jockeys. You see bugs and they just come and spray. You see more bugs, so they spray more. My team's approach consists of understanding what's causing the bugs to come in. Sometimes it's something as simple as caulking or patching holes. Spraying is not always the answer. If you're tired of the spray jockeys and want real pest control solutions, call us, Sargent's Integrated Pest Solutions, today at 595-4867. That's 595-4867. Now serving Marco, Naples, Bonita, and Estero.
That she did not like my commercial about the guy spitting chewing tobacco. She said that sound made her sick. I asked her what she thought about my commercial of Bart the donkey, and she went, Either way, a special thanks to over 4,000 wonderful people who did respond to Papa's wacky commercials and making this past year our biggest, most profitable year in over 30 years. On behalf of my sons, Casey, Kerry, and Cody, we invite you to call Papa for our free tile roof inspection. If we find needed repairs, we'll do our best to make it affordable. Let us show you how we can clean and seal your tile roof, pavers, and pool decks the eco-friendly way, and it's cleaner, safer, and lasts longer. We promise to keep the donkey off your roof. Call me, Papa, for our free tile roof inspection. 945-2700. That's 945-2700. Remember, area code 239-945-2700. We're open 24/7. License number CCC 1326213.
Southwest Florida, Lee County Fair.
The 97th Annual Southwest Florida and Lee County Fair opens today at 4 p.m. with free admission till 6 p.m. and free rides from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Moonlight Madness runs 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. with a $25 wristband for admission and rides. Visit swflcfair.com for all details and specials. Following CDC guidelines.
Southwest Florida, Lee County Fair.
People say they don't like going to the dentist, but what they mean is they don't like the discomfort. Dr. Alan Rembos at smilesbyrembos.com understands. Dr. Rembos uses computerized anesthetic delivery, resulting in 50% fewer injections. And Dr. Rembos places and restores implants, eliminating delays, additional costs, and no running around. New patients and emergencies usually seen within 24 hours. Cosmetic treatment often completed in 1 to 2 weeks. Read the reviews at smilesbyrembos.com. Offices in Marco, Naples, Sanibel, and Fort Myers.
Wink News traffic.
Good Friday morning. Eastbound lanes on Lee Boulevard are shut down. 2 lanes heading east towards Sunshine. 1 lane is open. All westbound lanes are open. And this is from a fire at Family Dollar right there at Terry Avenue. So if you're heading east and west between Gunnery and Sunshine, it's a place to avoid right now, really. I would go ahead and stick to 8th Street, 23rd, or 82. Also, call your commuters. We're getting busy on Immokalee Road heading east towards Goodlett Frank. Also, a delay building in Collier on Goodlett Frank if you're heading northbound towards Vanderbilt, and Golden Gate, just a tap on the brakes heading east to the interstate. The Trip to the Minute traffic, I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After the cool start, we actually will be close to records for today. Can't rule it out in Fort Myers. Temps topping out in the mid to upper 80s. Mixture of sunshine and clouds. A few isolated showers can't be ruled out as well during the afternoon and evening hours, but overall, the rain coverage limited. Into the weekend, more record highs are possible. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s to even near 90. A lot of beach and pool time. Mixture of sunshine and clouds. 1 or 2 stray showers are possible, and then more 80s with a chance of rain for the middle part of next week. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, Weather Authority.
Get more than what the internet tells you. Get up to speed on The Drive with Trey Radel. Weekdays 5 to 7.
92.5 Fox News. Right. All along.
Welcome to Smart Floors. For a limited time, Smart Floors is offering contractor pricing on all CoreTech vinyl luxury flooring. CoreTech, normally priced at $3.99 a square foot, is yours for only $2.99. And CoreTech, that's $5.99, is now only $4.49. No gimmicks, no hassles, just smart service at a smart price. In Naples, next to Home Goods in the Park Shore Plaza.
When shopping for new floor, we stand for so much more. Smart service, smart prices, Smart Floors.
It's Fred Kobe with Kobe Cooling. I was lucky enough to hear my friend Rush Limbaugh on his very first broadcast in Florida over 30 years ago. After more than 24,000 hours of listening to Rush, I feel like we're buddies. I've always been proud to advertise in his time slot because we love Rush Limbaugh. My father and I used to talk about Rush every day. It gave us some commonality, and I'll cherish those moments forever. We pray for Rush's wife, Catherine, and his brother and family, and we hope that God's healing hands finds them. And until we meet again, Maha Rushi, mega dittos from all of the Kobes at Kobe Cooling. When you think of air conditioning companies, we hope you'll think of Kobe Cooling. No nonsense and no pressure. We're the company your neighbors use. License CACO 57313.
Hey, Matthew, we need to restock those sleeping bags.
Indeed knows unexpected growth can stretch your business thin.
One of you cover this register?
Like at Anita's outdoor store. To keep sales climbing, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
Southwest Florida is home to the finest boating and fishing waters in the United States, and there's no better place to see all the boats, accessories, gear, and gadgets than at the 32nd Annual Bonita Springs Boat Show, March 4th through the 7th at the Bonita Springs Poker Room, formerly the Greyhound Track. It's all outdoors with plenty of room. See hundreds of boats from all the major dealers at Southwest Florida's biggest springtime boat show. There's a boat for every budget and every need. Marine accessories, engines, boat lifts, services, how-to boating info, and fishing seminars by Coastal Angler Magazine. Dealer inventories are very low, and this is your last chance before summer to see all the boats and gear on display in one place. It's also your best chance to order a boat for your return to Florida in the fall. Thursday, March 4th through Sunday the 7th at the Bonita Springs Poker Room, Bonita Beach Road between I-75 and US 41. Visit BonitaSpringsBoatShow.com for complete details.
Kennedy at 3 and Drive Home with Trey Radel at 5. Now, back to Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
Daybreak 92.5 Fox News Live. You can watch DrewSteele.com. The website, Steele has 3 E's, as you know, S-T-E-E-L-E. I have to clarify that now, thanks to TracyBeanz and Mike Opelka, who's joining me here at CPAC 2021, who wanted to remind me and remind us that it's not S-T-E-E-E-L-E. Thanks for that. The marketing department. The marketing department is now like, oh gosh, what have we done? So there you go. So if you want to watch, if you want to see what's happening, again, DrewSteele.com, the website. Just go there and you can watch. You can go to YouTube and Facebook as well at Drew Steele Radio for the time being. Who knows how long that's going to last? But we are there nevertheless. As things are now pushed, if you're wondering, since the president, former President Trump, speaking on Sunday, everything kind of got shifted over. So today is technically the first day of CPAC, if you're going to really, I mean, even though we came a day early.
Well, it's a big day.
It's a big day for us. For those that don't know what the lineup is going to be, let me remind everybody exactly who's going to be here. We have Father Frank Pavone is going to join us at 7 o'clock, so we'll have an interesting culture discussion, I'm sure, about what has been happening. 7:35, KashPatel is going to join us. And KashPatel, the story that you're going to hear this morning, if you're trying to figure out Spygate, you know a lot about Spygate. And sometimes the players in Spygate, it gets confusing. Obviously, the basis is pretty simple. You know, weaponize the American government against the United States citizen. They spied on the former president, and then once he became the president, then they had to figure out how they were going to repair all the damage. And by the way, your tax dollars paid for it. So there's that. But when you think about Devin Nunes, who's here, I saw him in the hallway yesterday, so he's here. And you think of Devin Nunes as the quintessential player in all of this, the person who took on the Goliath of the establishment, and you think of everything that he was willing to do, and then you say, well, how did he do it? KashPatel comes into the story, and KashPatel is talk about a hero in this. I mean, it's true that that's not a word that's thrown around lightly. KashPatel is the person who was able to get with Devin Nunes and go, look, there's a puzzle here. I can put the pieces together. I can put all of these pieces together to take down, to show what was happening with General Mike Flynn and what was going on with Robert Mueller and what was happening with Stefan Halper and your tax dollars and spying and all of these pieces, and just putting all those parts together. And then the dominoes started to fall to the point where the media had no choice but to change their narrative. And it's KashPatel that did this. It's incredible.
You're very excited about this.
Oh, man, am I excited.
I'm worried about you. We need a blood pressure cuff on you.
I know.
Because there's more to life than cash.
Well, not as far as Spygate, no. But as far as live, yes. That is absolutely true. All right, so I got carried away. So
It's Friday.
Yes, KashPatel at 7:35. Hans von Spakovsky at 8 o'clock from Heritage Foundation. Hey, what are we going to do about elections and election integrity now in the future? What are we going to do with that? At 10 after 8 will be our good friend JennaEllis, who I had a chance to see here. She'll be joining us as well. 8:35, your good friend GordonGChang.
GordonGChang, ladies and gentlemen, and I will tell you everything you need to know about the Asian Peninsula, the threats from China, what's happening with North Korea. GordonGChang's got the scoop.
And then we wrap it all up and take it out for the Friday with MattWhitaker. And we are going to...
I'm just going to throw in a couple of wild cards.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I invited them, even though they're not on your little schedule there.
It's John Cassio, program director's little schedule.
I know.
And I thank him for
It's
the
suddenly
schedule.
become the odd couple. It's Felix and Oscar.
Yeah.
And Felix has the schedule here, and I'm Oscar. And I just bounce around like a BB in a boxcar. But I told Scott Pressler if he's around, he has to come by.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to turn down a 6'8" guy.
No, I wouldn't do that.
With that much hair.
How could you? You can't miss him.
Yeah, I can't.
And who else?
And I ran into one of the guys from Fox, the Fox TV network.
Yeah.
They're around the corner. They're doing Fox and Friends.
Oh, okay.
And,
So you got friends.
Yeah, so we might have, I'm just going to tease you that.
Oh,
we
gosh.
might have a Fox and Friends
Okay.
guy.
You don't have to
come
say
by.
who it is, but we'll see.
You know, unlike Tommy Lahren, who got on the phone with us yesterday because she was 10 feet away. And she had to be on the phone with us.
Is that an inside baseball? Okay.
No, she was literally 60 feet from where we were on the phone, on her cell phone. She couldn't walk down here, couldn't waddle down here.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's talk about, can we talk, Woke Olympics Awards. We talked a little bit about Tater Head.
Yep.
And what's happening
For those
there.
that don't know, update everybody on the potato head situation with Hasbro.
It was a brilliant PR move to say we're taking the Mr. off Mr. Potato Head. And a bunch of us who laugh at the stupidity of all this gender madness called them out. And so they got a massive PR spike. And then they came back and said, hold on a second. We didn't say we were taking away his gender. We're just taking it off the box. There's still a Mr. There's still a Mrs. You know, I guess and I looked in my old Mr. Potato Head packaging. There's not a Winky in there. There doesn't come with you get the eyes and the nose and the mouth. There's no Winky.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Well, still, I'm just concerned about the kids. I'm concerned about the kids that have a Mr. Potato Head and now they don't know what to call it and, what gender pronoun to use for their
That's
potato
true.
head. So there could be many. There could be Spud. There could be, I mean, what...
You've mashed this story up too much
already.
Oh
man,
it's boiled
come on.
over and fried.
Oh,
so let's just leave it. Let's save our skins and fill them with delicious. I could go on. I told you I was working all night on
all right.
all of this. No, but
again. Oh, by the way, let me just remind everybody we're at CPAC 2021, and let me remind everybody at 6:40 something this morning. As I'm looking down the row, they're doing it again. They're looking at us because everybody is very serious about their news here at CPAC.
Oh, it's going to get worse.
We're serious
people.
about our news, but it's a little more.
We're dropping
festive.
Leaflets because
Yeah.
it's about to get interesting. But after Potato Head came that story out of California about the department stores.
No, what happened?
They want a law that mandates department stores be gender neutral in like clothing. So you can't and toys.
So no boys and girls department.
No boys department
men's.
for clothes or toys. And if you're caught with that, they're going to fine you.
I don't even know what to say about that except it's true, and there has to be, and maybe you can tell me what you think. This might be part of the theme of the day. Is you can't tell me that people are going to accept this as it continues. There has to be a point where enough is enough. It just can't go on indefinitely. It just can't.
It's madness. And I think a lot of this started with 3 or 4 years ago when Latinx or Latinx became the thing.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted it.
Right.
And now you don't really hear it anywhere but MSNBC.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
keep
only
pushing it, right.
place that uses Latinx or Latinx.
Goes back to what I was saying when TracyBeanz was here, and again, it goes back to the point that you watching at drewsteele.com, if you're listening on the air right now, it comes down to being willing to say no. Enough is enough. The days of the left, the days of the media, the days of people around you dictating who you are, what you're about, what your identity is, and that's over. That stops. And as long as we are all willing to do that and take that step, it will. Because it's our foundation. It's what we care about. It's real. It's not manufactured. It's not fake. It's something that we have had enough with, and you have to be bold enough to take that step.
I agree with you, but
Okay.
we needed to do this about 15 years ago when we started with changing the language and saying things like you can't say the N-word if you're one color of skin, but it's fine if you're the other. And then we said you can't say the R word, the thing that, like on a car, when you have something that retards the brakes, you can talk about it on a car, but you can't talk about it related to anything else.
Yeah.
So once we started parsing language like that, we went down a slope that now has us this fealty to the left and this race issue. And this video you sent me yesterday,
Yeah.
I was laughing my butt off. The one that Dean Cain posted.
Yeah, and many have been looking at this, and if you're wondering, how far this is going to go, at least the good news is that at least it's not going to our classrooms. At least our kids are not learning anything from teachers.
Oh, thank God.
That would be absolutely ridiculous. Some would question. Nothing like that is happening at all. Until you realize everything like that is happening like this.
If you don't believe that there's white privilege, please don't teach. If you don't believe that Black Lives Matter, please don't teach. If you don't believe in systemic racism and how it negatively impacts our students of color and don't want to help dismantle those systems, please don't teach.
Yeah, no, you need to not.
So
teach.
she's a
That's-
teacher?
Apparently.
And she's white.
Yeah.
And she can't write a song to save her life. The shoehorning of the lyrics bothers me almost as much as the message.
They always do that. It's every time. I have to say this. I'm sorry, but admit it. Every time the left tries to do something musically and be either humorous or try to make a stinging point, it's always Bill de Blasio standing in front of some people that are dancing in the snow with a desk and a microphone and weird things and people like this who are trying to, like you say, shoehorn the lyric to make them fit, to make it all work, and it just sounds like a mess, a hot mess. It's for and even for like Hollywood, it always feels like, or even you would imagine they would have written some beautiful, lyrically important song about Joe Biden at this point, and even that hasn't happened.
Well, yeah, because we saw it with Obama. Remember the schools after he was elected, Barack Hussein Obama.
Remember Hillary Clinton and how they did the song. They took one of the pop songs of the time and made the Hillary Clinton song.
I don't remember.
You don't
that.
remember that? Oh gosh, it was. They took Fight Song, the pop song Fight Song.
Oh, yeah,
This
yeah,
is my
yeah,
fight
yeah.
song, and they made it into Hillary Clinton. That's how good it was. It was so good that even Mike Opelka doesn't remember.
No, it really made a lasting impression.
Yeah.
But this woman's gone viral.
Yeah, she has.
And she is a teacher, apparently. So she's in the classroom with this mindset.
Well, isn't that the classroom where she
And-
is at right
yeah,
there?
it looks
Look.
like a classroom there. How many cats do you think she has? I don't want to make a comment on her appearance, but I'm just wondering how many cats you think she has.
I don't know. Many. Probably some that she's not sure of the names or if they're still even in the home or just come on.
saying. But this is really dangerous that, had you or I put out something similar from our jobs, we probably would have gotten roasted terribly.
Yeah. No, it's true. And the sad part of it is that this is what's happening with our kids. This is why, again, when we talk about, and you've said it before, local, and when we talk about the local issues and we talk about school boards and we talk about the people, individuals in our community, and there are many, that fight, that politically fight, that care about their kids enough to go to the school board meetings and show up and question those that are telling us that nothing that you see here is happening the way you are spelling it out. Move right along. And then your kid comes home and is like, hey, are we white supremacists? No. Who told you that? Or how did you even bring that? Or is it just the fantastic songs that they get to hear? Is it...
Believe that there is white privilege, please don't teach.
Shush.
I'm stunned. And I know there's another school board. We have to find this. As I was leaving my my fabulous digs here, there was a report on a school board, I believe, again, California, where they were having an argument over the curriculum. And one of the members of the school board, who happens to be a teacher or an administrator, said that this is white privilege speaking. You're all expressing your... And I'm like, can we just get off of the white privilege thing? Because it's just maddening.
Because
we're killing ourselves.
Well, and clearly it works. And
that's the thing. It's the race card which stops the conversation.
Yeah.
And that's why we can't have a conversation, and I have a problem with that.
It's Drew Steele along with Mike Opelka. We are live right now from CPAC 2021. You can see that we're here if you go to drewsteele.com, the website, or YouTube or Facebook at Drew Steele Radio, and you can go right now. What's that?
I have breaking news.
Okay. I don't have my breaking news sound.
It's excellent. That'll work. It should be a glass pane breaking, just to mock it. We should have a giant window breaking. The CNN, you've heard of them?
No.
Yeah, they're a news network, news and opinion. CNN has now finally covered the Governor Cuomo sex scandal.
Oh, they have.
Yes.
Okay.
After 2 days.
Was there? I didn't hear about this. Tell me more about what's going on with him.
If you were watching the CNNs, you would not have seen it, so you wouldn't know.
Right.
But Governor Cuomo of New York has been credibly charged with sexual harassment, unwanted kissing, a proposal of playing strip poker from a one-time aide, and CNN has finally covered it. Guess how much time they spent on it over 48 hours?
Probably over 48 hours?
Over
8 hours, maybe 7 or 8 hours?
No, you're way over.
All right, I'll be, how about 3 hours? 3 hours?
Way over.
Is it minutes? Is it seconds?
It is 96 seconds.
96 seconds.
Just over a minute and a half, the CNN covered, finally, the Governor Andrew Cuomo sex scandal.
And by the way, Jen Psaki asked about this again yesterday, and we talked about this before we went on the air, and about her answer about what the Biden administration's position is on this.
Thank you, Jen. The head of the group the president is going to meet with today, the National Governors Association, Andrew Cuomo, is being accused of sexual harassment by a former staffer named Lindsay Boylan. She says that Cuomo, while he was governor, gave her an unwanted kiss on the lips. He asked her to play strip poker. Is the White House worried about this becoming a distraction from an important meeting about COVID response?
Can I just stop for a second? Is that still a thing? Is that what people is strip poker a thing? Like, who does that? Have you ever gone someplace and somebody said to you, hey, I thought that was like a 1970s thing. I thought that was went out with like Felix the cat.
No comment.
Okay, anyway, so it just seems so...
Don't open doors you don't want to go into.
Okay, here we go.
Well, let me first say that the president has been consistent in his position. When a person comes forward, they deserve to be treated with dignity and respect.
Oh, no. Wait, what?
Is there a little more on that?
Yeah, there is.
Just give me a little more.
Okay, a little more.
Their voice should be heard, not silenced.
Okay. Hold on. Is there any... Do you want more than that?
That statement could not be any further from the truth.
Explain why that could not be further.
There happens to be a former aide to one-time Senator Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. named Tara Reid, not the actress, who has credibly accused him, in my opinion, and in the opinion of several other women who accused major and important people of sexual acts that should not have been, or sexual harassment. And Biden has blocked the release of the records that would prove his innocence or possibly prove his guilt. Joe Biden has not allowed the records from his history to be released from University of Delaware. So dignity, respect, and complete transparency does not exist. So this is all Bravo Sierra.
You have no credibility.
Well, that's true.
239-479-5592. That's the answer. That's how you get out. I just got out of it. I just completely disarmed you. That's it. You're done. You have no credibility in my eyes. All right. No, you actually do. You see where I'm going, I hope.
I do.
All right. We have Father Frank Pavone, who's, I'm looking at him right now. He's across the hall there, and he's going to join us in just a little bit. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line. We stream live, drewsteele.com, the website, and also YouTube and Facebook for the time being at Drew Steele Radio live from CPAC 2021.
Is he going to ask us what we did for Lent or what we gave up for Lent?
It's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
Sad video of the starving polar bear. National Geographic posted it last December with the caption, "This is what climate change looks like." It became their most viewed web video ever. The drive-bys picked up the story, calling it gut-wrenching and soul-crushing, blaming Republicans for global warming, killing this poor polar bear. The video was ultimately shared with 2.5 billion people. But now the photographer, Christina Mittermeier, says, never mind. In the upcoming issue of National Geographic, she says that her team lost control of the narrative because people missed the nuances. What nuances? Well, that she had no idea why the polar bear was on its last legs. In an editor's note, National Geographic admits there's no way to know for certain why this bear was on the verge of death. Sounds familiar. In fact, I found a similar quote. Nobody knows why this bear didn't make it. It could have been sick, which happens in nature, but we do know this. A soul-crushing video blaming global warming is total BS. Who said that? Me, the day that video was released. It didn't take me 7 months to figure it out, which is why I tell you, do not doubt me. Just don't.
Benjamin Franklin once wrote,
"Nothing can be said to be certain, except death and taxes."
Hold on there, Benji.
Oh.
You can't even rely on that much thanks to identity thieves.
Pardon?
Tax forms have all your personal info in one place. And this is the season when it can get emailed, shared, and possibly exposed to identity thieves. They might even try to file your tax return before you do.
This shan't stand.
No, it shan't. Because LifeLock monitors your info and alerts you to identity threats. If you become a victim, a dedicated US-based specialist will help fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions, but LifeLock helps you keep what's yours. Join today and save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com with promo code NEWS. That's promo code NEWS for 25% off at LifeLock.com. And remember,
25% saved is 25% earned.
Hey, we get it. You don't want to be hearing a Progressive commercial right now, so let us tell you something you do want to hear. No one is funnier than you. People laugh just thinking about the things you've said. I'm laughing at one of them right now. Coworkers repeat your jokes at the office, but they're never as good as when you tell them, and shame on them for trying. There. Don't you feel better? You'll also feel better knowing you could save when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Although I'm sure you'd have a funnier way to say that. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom, too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Your new home is calling you to live the good life, starting now. River Hall is where it all starts, a true paradise. River Hall is one of the Gulf Coast's most exclusive master-planned communities, where country club living meets the casual, barefoot Florida lifestyle. River Hall's Davis Love III Championship Golf Course is one of the top-rated courses in the Gulf Coast area, and you'll love River Hall's private oasis pools, bike paths, fitness center, tennis and bocce courts, and more. Live large with homes priced from just the 500s to the 800s from Pulte. The Pulte collection of breezy, open floor plans offers something for every lifestyle, with upscale finishes and features designed for elegant, gracious living. Here's to finally finding the perfect place. Here's to home. River Hall is just 20 minutes east of Fort Myers in the River Shores District. Come see model homes now. Visit liveriverhall.com. That's liveriverhall.com.
I was asked the other day if I could explain romance. Hi, it's Joseph Edison. I pondered that for a few moments. Wow, I'm not sure. Romance, it's a mystery like the deep blue sea. Romance is when somebody makes more time to spend with their sweetie, and we help people do that. Closet Factory's master designers can make time for more date nights, and better organization clears the mind, giving you and your sweetie time to better concentrate on each other. Ah, romance.
Dollars worth pushed by President Biden.
The economic toll of this pandemic continues to tear through our country as brutally as the virus itself.
Now, the House bill includes another $1,400 for most Americans, extra and extended unemployment benefits, and a $15 minimum wage. But there is a big problem with that. Fox's Rachel Sutherland explains live.
Dave, the minimum wage hike cannot be included in a final relief bill, according to Senate parliamentarian Elizabeth McDonough, who's overseeing the budget reconciliation process. The decision is a disappointment for many Democrats. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the $15 wage will remain in legislation up for a vote today, but it's all but dead in the Senate, where there's bipartisan opposition. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki says President Biden is disappointed, but respects McDonough's call. Dave?
Rachel, something the federal government put in place to help people struggling to pay rent in this crisis, blocking evictions, has been ruled unconstitutional by a federal judge in Texas who called it an overreach of power, siding with landlords who sued the judge, telling the CDC to withdraw that moratorium. Now back to the president, who had a 100 million vaccine goal in his first 100 days.
We're halfway there. 50 million shots in just 37 days since I've become president.
Reiterating we could all get it by the end of July. Now, today, an FDA panel will review Johnson & Johnson's coronavirus vaccine, already deemed to be safe in clinical trials, though a little less effective than Pfizer and Moderna's versions, but it's one dose, not two. The U.S. went on the attack in Syria, going after Iran-backed fighters who had attacked Americans in Iraq.
We're confident that that target was being used by the same Shia militia that conducted the strikes.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, Syrian State TV reports at least 17 deaths. America's listening to Fox News.
92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 7 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News.
This update is presented by Lee Auto Group. Find your perfect vehicle at lee-cars.com.
Drew Steele in the morning and Trey Radel in the afternoon. 2 doses of what cures liberalism. 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
Hi, I'm Kyle Lee with Lee Auto Group. We sell more low-mileage cars and trucks than anyone in Southwest Florida because we have more. Over 300 vehicles in stock with locations in Fort Myers and Tampa. See for yourself at lee-cars.com.
Lee Auto Group is looking for quality pre-owned vehicles. Let them make your buying or selling experience easy and safe. Contact Lee Auto Group at 239-288-7374 or visit lee-cars.com.
Don't forget the dash.
The Diamond District has the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds at the most competitive prices in the world. Jason and Todd have partnered with De Beers in Canada and Africa, and they've traveled to Israel, Antwerp, and India to select the most beautiful diamonds. Visit the Diamond District today for your best diamond buying experience.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet Store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet Store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet Store.
Hi, I'm Tyler McDaniel. And I'm Brad McDaniel. We're the second generation of Kenmark Air. Along with our father, Ken McDaniel, we're celebrating 25 years of service in Southwest Florida. For the next 25 days, we're offering $25 service calls, $25 maintenance, and 25% off high-quality Maytag systems. For our 25th anniversary specials, call Kenmark Air, 239-437-7040. That's 437-7040. And online at kenmarkair.com. License number CAC 057163.
From 92.5 Fox News.
This is what Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. So glad you're joining us today. 239-479-5592 is the talk and text line streaming live. We are here on drewsteele.com, the website. Steele has 3 E's in case you don't know how to spell it. We learned this morning that some people said S-T-E-E-E-L, which was TracyBeanz, who was wondering whether or not it was 3 E's right in a row or there was an E at the end. And it was Mike Opelka who kind of joined along with that fun. And,
I'm a bit of a grammar Nazi.
Yeah, you
Let's
are a
just
little
face
bit.
it, I think the language needs to be respected. Rules are there for a reason.
Wait a minute, that's my
we
name,
will
though.
descend into madness if we don't. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I apologize.
Yeah,
I've
Father
taken
Frank
us off track.
Pavone. Father Frank Pavone is joining us right now on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. He's sitting right now in front of us and confused about all.
Forgive me, Father.
Forgive me, Father.
I know not what I do almost every day.
You
Ask
don't
my
mind, do
wife.
you? Is that okay?
You
Can
guys
we
are
start
fun.
that way?
You guys are fun.
We're trying. First of all, priestsforlife.org. We're going to dig into the website. We're going to dig into the organization in just a minute. First of all, good morning. It's great to see you.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
And, there are a lot of questions that we talked about off the air that I would love to bring up right now because as I've talked to people and many have questions about Joe Biden, President of the United States. We care about life. I care about life. I care about the sanctity of life. Mm-hmm. There is no trying to get around certain issues when it comes to life. It is. It just is. We care about life. And when we hear things like late-term abortion and trying to justify, and we hear abortion and try to justify, and we try to get the word of God, if you will, to fit in my box. Mm-hmm. And then you have a president who we're told is a Catholic. We see him all the time. He's going to church almost every.
I go to the same church. St. Joe's.
Is that?
Brandywine.
Okay.
Been there, and
Okay.
my father-in-law is buried about 2 rows over from his son.
Is that
So,
right?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a tiny Delaware church. It's a beautiful old, gorgeous,
Yeah.
powerful. But
So-
your point is really important.
Yeah. So how do we do this, Father? How do we take an individual who claims to be following the Catholic faith, but isn't, especially when it comes to abortion?
That's right.
What do you
That's right.
say?
Well, it's an abuse of the faith. You know, the Lord said, not those who call me Lord, Lord will enter the kingdom of heaven. Those who do the Heavenly Father's will. You know, religious language is not what saves us. Religious terminology is not what saves us. Claiming to be this, that, or the other thing is not what saves us. This man and everyone along with him, all these pro-abortion, quote, Catholic politicians, are violating their own faith because they are not lifting a finger to protect these children. That's not a matter of abstract doctrines. Frankly, I don't care what my elected officials believe when it comes to their religion. We know that we have no religious test for public office in the U.S. Constitution, but I want them to be consistent. I don't want them to lie. And that's what we see happening here. He's trying to have it both ways. Oh, let me get the vote of Catholics. Let me identify with them, but let me throw the teachings out the window.
Yeah. No doubt.
My mother would call them cafeteria Catholics.
Yes, right, exactly. Convenience Catholics.
Well, one of 9 kids. She kind of walked the walk and didn't just talk the talk.
Yeah. Well, you know, we did over the years. We've done a couple of open letters to these kind of individuals. I did a letter to Biden years ago, letter to Joe.com. We did letter to Nancy.com because Nancy Pelosi's in the same boat, and many others. And what we said in those letters was, look, first of all, be whatever religion you want. Secondly, if you can't protect the children in the womb, then not only are you contradicting the Catholic and Christian faith, you're contradicting the meaning of public service. We need public servants who are going to protect the public, not kill the public, and we're going to know the difference. They don't. And so it's not just a religious concern. What's the meaning of being in public office in the first place? What's the purpose of government? If the Democrat Party is so wedded to the abortion industry that they can't protect these babies, then they're contradicting the very purpose of government.
Yeah. You know, another thing, and before we get into Priests for Life, certainly digging into that topic, the other thing that I wonder about as well is the other issue that we talked about, which is whatever it is that's going on in our culture, and maybe you can speak to what's happening to the culture. Why don't you do that first before we even get to what I was going to say? Your thoughts on what's happening with the culture right now, and how concerned you are about the direction that we are.
Well, we've lost our connection to reason, and this has been happening for a long time. John Paul II talked about this. He said, freedom is a value. We all value freedom, but freedom has got to be based in truth. And this was one of the key themes of his pontificate. John Paul II wrote for the whole world. People of all different religious backgrounds appreciate what he had to say. And we are seeing this now to an unprecedented degree, the disconnect between freedom and truth. I create my own truth. Even has gotten to the point, it's been that way a long time when people think about moral issues. Now it's gone to biological issues.
Yeah.
I create my own truth about what kind of gender I have. I create my own truth. Well, then why can't you create your own truth about what age you are? They don't want to apply it to that, but it's just as consistent. So, and this after a while, this gets you to the point where no further conversation is even possible. And that's why you have, what John Paul always said was, this leads to just a breakdown of civilization.
Yeah.
Well, when you have 8 billion people on the planet, and everyone has their own truth, and I'm using air quotes with my fingers, radio audience. When everyone has their own truth, you have no consistency in reality, and therefore you can have no consistency in any relationship or life or anything we do.
And therefore, how can you have peace on earth? How can you have a community of any kind? You can't. The political community has to be based on certain things that everybody accepts.
Right.
Certain things. There's got to be a lot of freedom on a lot of things, but there's got to be certain things like, I can't kill you and you can't steal my possessions.
Well, it starts with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Doesn't it? Yeah,
and
exactly.
It doesn't say the guarantee of happiness, but it's life, liberty, and the pursuit. You're allowed to chase it. You may not catch it.
Yes.
But if we would go back to that base, I think we'd start pulling back to center. But you're seeing it, Father. Are we too far gone?
No, I don't think so. And let me tell you why. I deal with the issue of abortion full time, and I believe in the dead end rule. If you go down a dead end road and you ignore the signs that say it's a dead end, you will soon learn by personal experience that it's a dead end. Right. Now, when it comes to abortion, decades ago, we were promised, this is going to reduce child abuse and reduce poverty among women and help women's health. It's done the opposite of all those things. And we have a growing number of people now. One of our projects is called Silent No More, people who have actually experienced abortion and experienced that it has not solved any of their problems, it's only created new ones. These people have been devastated, their relationships have been broken, their careers have been ruined, and now they've reached the dead end, if you will. They've turned around, and now they have become the sign, because they're saying to the rest of the world, I regret my abortion. The personal experience is undeniable, and I think that's what saves us in the end. We think we can just go up against a brick wall when it comes to denying truth, denying reality, denying morality, denying life, and denying the connection between freedom and truth, but then we hit that brick wall. And if it doesn't kill us, well, then we're able to turn around and say to everybody else, no, guys, this wasn't what we thought it was.
Yeah, and I think the two things that I would take away from that is, number one, to be bold in the conversation. Don't be shy and don't be afraid. We have to be bold in the conversation, and it's okay. And if there's one side that doesn't want to have the conversation, there's a reason why that they don't want to have it. And so because they tell you what is just is, and they tell you that this is the definition and this is where you have to be, you can't just accept that. We have to be bold and have these conversations. I say this all the time, and I've told my program director this all the time. When people say to me, politics and religion can't have these conversations, and in my house, it's like, yes, you do.
Yes,
you have them all the time, because it's not about not having it. It's about having it the right way.
Yes.
You don't have to disrespect somebody or treat somebody awfully to have a conversation where you would disagree. You have to be bold enough to have the conversation, have your foundation about you, which is going to make all the difference in the world, especially if it's your faith as your foundation. Then you are on solid ground. You're good to go.
Right.
And then the other part, I guess, would be the concerns that I have about where even politically how when you talk to politicians, do they
Yes.
even want to have these conversations? Do they even want to talk about this? You know, and something else too that before we go to break, and it's this, that we don't have to have the conversation with individuals and make it so egregious, so mean that just because my view is going to be different than yours doesn't mean that I can't love you as a Christian. I can't look at you and say, I'm not going to look and because your belief on something or where you sit means that I hate you. If I disagree with your lifestyle, it doesn't mean that I hate you.
That's right.
It's just, and you have to be able to look at people as children of God and be able to say that, you know, we are all God's children and I love you just the same. Listen, we're all sinners. It's just the way
we are.
And to have that as a foundation as well. Am I making sense of
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that you're making me nervous, Father, you know, and I'm having these.
I've never seen you sweat.
I know. Forgive me. I'm like,
amazing.
Okay.
No, but dialogue's an important thing. You know, over the years, I've developed some friendships with some of the key leaders on the other side of the abortion issue. A guy by the name of Bill Baird. You look up the history of abortion, you see there's 3 Supreme Court decisions that bear the name of Baird.
Mm-hmm.
I'm friends with the guy. He's in his 80s, and we talk very respectfully with one another. But you know what? Increasingly, as we have seen the disappearance of pro-life Democrats in Congress, for example, the Democrats are unwilling to have this dialogue. The door is completely shut. And part of it goes back to what we were saying before. They no longer believe in truth. So what's the basis for talking anymore? But many politicians are willing to talk and are able to talk, and we extend that to them. But you know, this is one of the contributions President Trump has made in our country when he said to the clergy both through his speeches and also through executive action, we want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
And he increased our freedom to say it. That's crucial to making progress.
Yeah.
I'm so happy you're here because when Drew told us you were coming, Father, and he goes, yeah, he's with Priests for Life. And I'm like, is that like a gang? Because, you know, it's like Cholos for life, man. Cholos. So, and I love the 2 meanings for this.
Yes.
Because a priest is a priest for life.
For life, right.
And then you're a priest for life.
For pro-life, right.
And I just think this is a great message, and people need to visit priestforlife.org to see what you're up to, because there's a podcast, there's discussion on the topic.
Right.
And while we have many nights and days to go in this battle, I feel like we're starting to make progress because we're seeing states come up with heartbeat laws. And
yes.
And I never thought I'd see that. I stood outside the Supreme Court about 4 years ago when the big decision, Texas decision,
The Texas case, yes.
was argued, and I asked each side
the
one question that none of the people on the pro-abortion side can answer: when does life begin? And they can't. That's the most flummoxing question you can ever ask anyone in that arena. But I'm so glad you're here because this is just beautiful information today.
And
thank you.
Priestsforlife.org is the website to get more information. And Father Frank Pavone joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Father, I appreciate you taking a few minutes.
It's a pleasure.
So much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we get some kind of dispensation or something before you get out of here?
You have my blessing.
Yes, the eagle has landed.
Be careful. Be careful. All right. 239-479-5592. Thank you, Father.
Thank
for
you
being
very
here.
much.
We appreciate it. I saw, remember you were mentioning earlier, our friend from Fox just walked by, that you, if you want to go.
Pete Hegseth?
Oh, yeah. Did you want to go? Should we go? Do we want to take? Do you want to go see? Do you want to go walking?
Was he walking that way?
He was walking that way.
That
but
means
I'm
he's
not sure
going
if
back
he was
on
walking
air.
this way.
Let's post for a photo with.
Yeah, we're going to post for. By the way, we are live at CPAC 2021 right now. If you want to watch, it is on drewsteele.com, the website. It is mobile friendly, so we appreciate you watching, and also for the time being, YouTube and Facebook or whatever at Drew Steele Radio. You know, so if it's someplace that you would like to go, that is perfectly
I'm feeling pretty
fine
good. I got a get out of hell free card.
Yep,
right there.
Did you really?
Father Pavone, yeah.
All right. Well, and then that happens, and it's all back. No, something just happened.
Something just
happened,
I'm
and
need
it just
to use my card right now.
We need to use the card right away. Okay, and even the whole camera moved. I know. Do you
Everything was shaking.
Do you want to
by
just
them.
move? Yeah,
Just
that's
keep
the
going.
whole. It's okay. No. Don't just leave the camera where it is for now. It's fine.
Not do that. Casio.
You have no idea what just happened. No idea. All right, it's why you have to be here with us. And of course, a lot of people, we were talking about that, how with the President Trump being here on Sunday, that everything has been shifted. So today is technically the first day, and through the weekend. So a lot of things that are happening here at CPAC 2021 in Orlando. Just in case you're wondering more about the lineup for today, stay tuned because there's a lot that's going on. We'll have, in just a little while from now, KashPatel. I cannot tell you how excited
it's the
I am.
97th mention of KashPatel. I'm thinking there's a non-sexual crush you have on KashPatel.
You're not going to say anything.
I won't.
The Plot Against the President, the movie.
I can't wait to see it.
Amanda Milius was here with us yesterday, and she'll be here with KashPatel. And again, I can't emphasize this enough. If you're wondering why I'm so excited, is because if you're trying to piece together all the puzzle that was Spygate, and you know the fundamental things about Spygate, spying on the Trump campaign, and then Trump's in office, and then trying to spin out and get out of being and not get caught, and all of that happening all on your tax dollars and all of this. And ultimately where we are today, and you're trying to figure out, well, Devin Nunes, how did he do all of this, taking the lead? He brought in KashPatel, and it was KashPatel that put all these pieces together to have some of these dominoes fall of the things that we discovered. So, yeah, wait till you hear this conversation. I'm excited. That's coming up at 7:35. And also, coming up this morning, 8 o'clock, von Spakovsky. We're going to talk a little bit about election integrity. Our friend JennaEllis, who we saw yesterday, will be joining us at 8:15. GordonGChang at 8:35. And
yes.
then MattWhitaker finishes out the program. Someone who knows a little bit about the Fort Myers, Naples area. He visits often, so that's good. Maybe we can talk about good restaurants in the Naples area or something like that. Okay, what else do we have to discuss this morning? We've talked about the wokeness, the potato head issue. That is something that we're just let's not even worry about that. What else are you catching up on this morning, especially with people that you've talked to here at CPAC?
Well, the people are still concerned because they feel that we are outnumbered. And I think one of the things that we need to send back home to everybody is the fact that we're not.
Yeah.
There is a legion here that is ready to go. But what they're here for is education and trying to make sure that they are involved on the granular local level. And that's really what the message is from here, is that we are uncanceling America.
Right.
And that's the CPAC mission. Get involved locally. And I want to put this out there. I know we haven't taken too many calls.
No. We haven't taken too many calls. We haven't taken any calls this morning. I'm just going to be quite honest. I'm just going to put it out there. Not a call.
And maybe people would weigh in on this, because 38% of Americans said they would give up one thing. This one thing they would give up. Almost 40% of us would give this up if we could go and start traveling again. And I'm a guy who loves to travel. I love to go to tennis tournaments around the world.
Yep.
And I don't know if I could give this up. And I'm just wondering if anyone, what would you give up in order to get back to normal and be traveling again? I can't remember the number. I'm brain farting here. So
okay. Well, I know it's not my liberty and my freedom, so I know it's not that. Are you going to give us an answer, or?
I'm wondering if anyone has a thought.
All right.
Oh, you want me to put it out there and see if people agree?
Sure.
Sex for a year.
That's what it is?
People said they would give up sex for a year in order to start traveling again.
I'm glad you didn't bring this up when Father Pavone was
I have
here.
Some
Father
agency.
No,
I have some.
No, I question that.
I know, but every now and then I get it right.
Especially what ended up happening after.
Yeah, right. It's funny the way that works. God is a comedian.
Oh, boy. 239-479-5592.
A year. Would you stop the sexy time in order to travel again?
I would like to travel again. There's a lot of things I'd like to do. There's a lot of things that the governor has enabled us to do in this state. And I would hope that the state legislature is going to pick up on some of the things that we've been able to do in this state with regard to our liberty and our freedom. Two things in particular. One, I would love for the legislature here in the state, as session is getting ready to be underway very soon, I would like them to, number one, make sure that if there are any unconstitutional things that are coming from the federal government that's going to affect us here in the state of Florida, that we will pass legislation and say, no, we're not going to follow it. We are absolutely not going to do anything that comes from the federal government that we know 110% is unconstitutional. That's the first thing.
Like Second Amendment stuff and all that.
Yeah.
Several states doing that. That's a good idea.
And then the second thing, too, is goes back to what we have talked about many times on this program, which is about the concern about emergency powers in the hands of a governor when it comes to things like pandemics and how they can tell us that there's mask mandates and we have to do it, and shutting down businesses and the like, and how curfews work because of the Patriot Act and how that came about in the state of Florida, and how I want to question. I want the legislature to start talking about this and come up with a solution for two reasons. Number one, because I'm concerned about my freedom and my liberty. And the second part of it is Governor Ron DeSantis is not going to be your governor forever, everybody.
That's right. You won't always have a reasonable person having access to those unlimited powers. I think they all should be time-stamped so they expire like milk in your fridge.
There's KashPatel. He's walking by and, okay, he's coming in.
He's got the same mask I have.
All right. Yes, he does. All right, 239-479-5592. Let's take a break. When we come back, KashPatel is going to join us. Stick around for this. You're gonna love this conversation. Promise you.
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay. Boy, did I make this. It's not going to be very good. Listen, you'll watch, you'll listen. It's going to be okay. But we're here, live at CPAC 2021 on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
Hello, Florida. This is Representative Bob Rommel with this week's interesting Florida fact. Florida has one of the nation's largest higher education system, with 12 public universities and 28 colleges. The legislature established the University of Florida and Florida State University in the 1950s, and Florida A&M University, one of the nation's oldest historical black colleges, was founded in 1887. Despite Florida's reputation for free enterprise, many of our universities are hostile to free thought and speech. Unfortunately, we see big tech and Wall Street corporations join them, trying to cancel our culture and stifle criticism of the Marxist agenda. Our universities must stop being centers for the left-wing propaganda. That's why I introduced the campus free speech legislation in 2017, and I will continue similar efforts to keep universities accountable to the taxpayers that fund them. These are the people's universities. Let's reclaim them as our own. Paid by Bob Rommel, Republican for State Representative.
Southwest Florida is home to the finest boating and fishing waters in the United States, and there's no better place to see all the boats, accessories, gear, and gadgets than at the 32nd Annual Bonita Springs Boat Show, March 4th through the 7th at the Bonita Springs Poker Room, formerly the Greyhound Track. It's all outdoors with plenty of room. See hundreds of boats from all the major dealers at Southwest Florida's biggest springtime boat show. There's a boat for every budget and every need. Marine accessories, engines, boat lifts, services, how-to boating info, and fishing seminars by Coastal Angler Magazine. Dealer inventories are very low, and this is your last chance before summer to see all the boats and gear on display in one place. It's also your best chance to order a boat for your return to Florida in the fall. Thursday, March 4th through Sunday the 7th at the Bonita Springs Poker Room, Bonita Beach Road between I-75 and US 41. Visit BonitaSpringsBoatShow.com for complete details.
True relief for back and neck pain. Are you driving down the road right now with back or neck pain or pain into your arms or legs? Maybe your struggle is getting out of your bed or chair. Maybe you get weakness when you put weight on your leg or swing your golf club. It's time you address this problem once and for all. At Johnston Spinal Care 596 Back, these are the conditions that we treat every day, except we treat the root of the problem. No injections or pain meds. Non-surgical spinal decompression, recognized around the country for incredible statistical results for long-term pain relief. Break the cycle of pain from sciatica, stenosis, neuropathy, arthritis, or car accidents. Non-surgical spinal decompression can get your life back. Spinal decompression is safe and comfortable for any age and doesn't involve any hanging upside down. Don't hurt anymore when the answer is only a phone call away. Call our Medicare-friendly office, Johnston Spinal Care, for a free telephone consultation. 596-BACK. 596-BACK. That's 596-2225.
Welcome to Mesame Medical Spa, a new concept in wellness, combining beauty and science. Their mission is to provide the latest non-invasive cosmetic procedures. Mesame Medical Spa is the only provider in Fort Myers to offer M-Sculpt. Just one treatment is equivalent to 20,000 crunches or 20,000 lunges. Reserve a complimentary consultation online at mesamemedspa.com. Mesame means my friends. mesamemedspa.com.
One of the great things about little boys and little girls is when they grow up, they want to be just like you. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. So to moms and dads, aunts and uncles, and grandparents everywhere, remember this. The next time you get in the car and don't buckle your seatbelt, a little boy is watching. And when you decide to text or dial and talk while driving, a little girl is watching your every move. And when you head down the road with a beer or cocktail in the car, that little person next to you is taking it all in. In this life, you have an awesome responsibility to those children who love you the most and want to be you in every way. So make a pledge today to be a good role model to these kids and their friends so that that little boy and that little girl get to grow up and be just like you. Morgan & Morgan, for our children. Now pound law on your cell. Offices, Fort Myers and Naples.
Happy Valentine's sale. This is Marty.
Chevy buyers are kissing your deals goodbye, Marty.
No, they're not.
Yeah, everybody's hooking up with Victory Lane Chevrolet.
Okay,
it's like a marriage made in Detroit.
I think they're made in Warren, Michigan.
Okay, wherever. Point is, Victory Lane Chevy has fantastic deals during their Sweetheart Savings event. 500 to choose. It's love at first sight, Marty.
Hey, stop, would you?
Everybody finds their perfect match.
Just stop.
On hundreds of Victory Lane Silverados and Equinoxes. That's plural for Equinox, right?
Who knows?
Or is it Equini? During Victory Lane Chevrolet's Sweetheart Savings event, fall in love with a new Chevy today. Kiss your old trade goodbye. And say hello to new 2021 Chevy Silverados, just $375 a month with zero down. New 2021 Traverse, just $389 a month, zero down. And you'll never be brokenhearted with our goal of 100% credit approvals. We'll see you at Victory Lane Chevrolet. Online, victorylanechevrolet.com. Find new roads. Stock number SC1148 and E1006, 39-month lease, 10K miles per year, taxes and fees extra. All rebates to dealer. Offers for current lessees with approved credit and do not combine. Expires 2/28/2021.
This is 92.5 Fox News.
This break is sponsored by Cornerstone Builders. Give us the opportunity to wow you.
Wink News traffic.
Traffic is up to speed in Lehigh Acres on Lee Boulevard, but still seeing that road closure on Terry Avenue. If you're heading north towards Lee Boulevard, go ahead and stick to Sarah. Also, a crash at Daniels near Powers Court, which is also to the west of Palomino Lane. Now, this is not slowing traffic right now, but as you're heading this way, a tap on the brakes towards 75. Also, a crash at 41 and Michael G. Rip is causing a backup heading southbound on 41 south of Alico. That's your up to the minute traffic. I'm Sabrina Katz. Wink News now.
Wink Weather Authority.
After the cool start, we actually will be close to records for today. Can't rule it out in Fort Myers. Temps topping out in the mid to upper 80s. Mixture of sunshine and clouds. A few isolated showers can't be ruled out as well during the afternoon and evening hours, but overall, the rain coverage limited. Into the weekend, more record highs are possible. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s to even near 90. A lot of beach and pool time. Mixture of sunshine and clouds. 1 or 2 stray showers are possible. And then more 80s with a chance of rain for the middle part of next week. With Wink News, I'm meteorologist Matt Devitt, the Weather Authority.
Southwest Florida's place to talk about
coronavirus. It's on the police.
Everything.
Give me liberty or give me COVID-19.
92.5 Fox News.
Imagine replacing your old kitchen with the kitchen of your dreams. Brand new custom-made cabinet doors. Drawer fronts, hand-finished by true craftsmen. Designer hardware, new hinges, and everything installed beautifully in less than a week, start to finish. Expensive? No. To the contrary, with refacing by Cornerstone, you'll save so much, we should really talk about your master bathroom, too. Go for wow. Go for Cornerstone.
Heard the good news about COVID-19 vaccines? They're here. But you can do more than wait for your turn. See, you have the power to help slow the spread. Actually, you could be a real difference maker and protect your family and loved ones, too. Here's how. Watch your distance. Stay at least 6 feet away from folks you don't live with. And it's risky to be indoors with them, too, no matter how far apart you are. And, of course, avoid crowds. Also, wear a mask. CDC reports that masks protect both the person wearing them and the folks around them from particles that carry the virus. And wash your hands, using soap and water for 20 seconds, and do it frequently. Watch your distance, wear a mask, and wash your hands. Simple, effective, and along with vaccines, they're how you can make a big difference.
Learn more about vaccines at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Mason Classical Academy is excited to announce that they are under contract to purchase a high school campus site in North Naples. Conveniently located near I-75 and Immokalee Road, MCA seeks to open this college prep high school campus in the fall of 2021. Available tuition-free to all families, regardless of income or zip code. Mason Classical Academy's proven track record is in high demand, and this new North Naples High School campus will allow more students to receive this successful and proven model of education. The MCA North Naples campus is second to none, including fully equipped science labs, modern computer labs, and college-style classrooms. Instead of focusing on state testing, they teach students how to think, not what to think. And MCA education promotes patriotism and a true understanding of history. Do you crave such an education for your high schooler? If so, Mason Classical Academy is the answer. Learn the true, do the good, love the beautiful. Sign up to reserve a seat for your child by visiting masonacademy.com today.
The Mega Mall Meat Sale in Fort Myers and Port Charlotte right now for a limited time. Hurry now! 20 ribeyes for $30. EBT, credit cards, debit cards, all payments accepted. Last chance to compare 5-star steaks to Omaha Steak Box Steak deals and save on the ribeyes. 20 ribeyes for $30. Look for the big tent at Edison Mall at the Cleveland Road entrance. Also look for the big truck at the Port Charlotte Town Center in the JCPenney parking lot behind Red Lobster. Also on the big truck, crazy deals on premium steak, pork, seafood, and gourmet chicken breast. Everything must go. It's a truckload meat mania sale. Look for the big tent at the Edison Mall at the Cleveland Road entrance. Also look for the big truck at the Port Charlotte Town Center in the JCPenney parking lot behind Red Lobster. Crazy deals on Kansas City strips, fillets, bacon wrap fillets, mega ribeyes, and get 20 ribeyes for $30. The Mega Mall Meat Sale going on now at Edison Mall in Port Charlotte Town Center. Don't wait.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, 239-479-5592. We are live from CPAC 2021. Mike Opelka here as well with us at a moment where I've been excited about this.
I hate it when you're right.
Oh, my gosh.
I hate it when you're right.
Yeah. The movie The Plot Against the President is something that I encourage everybody to watch. You have to watch. If you care about what exactly went down with Spygate, if you're trying to figure out how everything played out from the beginning to where we are right now, and you're trying to understand it all, I cannot encourage you enough to go see this movie, The Plot Against the President. You can get it everywhere. I was watching it again was it on Amazon? I believe it was there, and all these different details. And when you think about Spygate and just understand the fundamentals, right? You understand that you had the American government weaponized against an American citizen. You have spying on the president, and then the realization that on a candidate, and then you realize that the candidate becomes the president, and then you realize now that the president's in there, and oh no, now we're going to get busted. They're going to find out exactly what we did, so we have to figure out what to do now to make this go away, and then ultimately all of this plays out, right? So all in your tax dollars, by the way, all of your money paid for this, right? So I am so excited to have KashPatel here, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, KashPatel, Deputy Assistant to the President, former Senior Director of National Security Council, former Senior Counsel at the House Select Committee on Intelligence. And when you think of Devin Nunes, you think of the one guy that was willing to take on the establishment, willing to take on this issue with everything thrown at him, right? And you're thinking that he has to have others that will help him along to be able to put the pieces together, to figure out exactly what was going down. And then here comes KashPatel, who, I'm going to say this to you right now, Kash. First of all, good morning. It's good to see you here. If you want to get closer to the mic here.
Sure.
You're the hero in all this. I'm just going to say it, dude. I'm just saying this, if you don't mind me saying it, because you put this thing together like it was like a puzzle of pieces that when all the parts came together, you realized that this was going to be not only a plot against the president, but the biggest political scandal in the history of this country that is bigger than the presidency. We'll talk on the backside of it. First of all, talk about how you came in to work with Devin Nunes and how this all started. Like, take me from the beginning. Everything goes down, and then you get the call.
Sure, and thanks for having me. This is actually my first radio interview
Is
ever.
it?
So.
Wow.
Well,
all right.
I need two things.
Yeah.
You do need to eat the mic.
Yeah,
Almost.
nice and close.
And the second thing, and inside baseball here, I'm going to tell the people listening at home. During the break, we were talking to Kash a little bit. You're like us in the fact that you appreciate the punctuation of words and sentences with the F-bomb. But if that happens here, we'll be out of work.
I'll leave the New York at home.
So please.
We are all
for the sake of his child.
We're in Florida. I'll keep Florida rules going.
Okay. So go ahead. So go from the beginning. So
No, it's great to be here, and thanks for the plot against the president summary. I think it's awesome. Obviously, I'm biased, but Devin and I didn't know each other at all. President Trump gets elected. A buddy of mine wants to be an ambassador in the Middle East, and I'm like trying to figure out how to help him. Long story short, mutual friend introduces Devin and I so I can help my friend go over to the State Department, become an ambassador. And then while we're talking, I obviously am like, hey, I want to go to the White House and do the NSC thing. I want to leave DOJ. And Devin's like, yeah, I'll help you out, no problem. Nice guy. And then long story short, the NSC thing didn't really happen because the Michael Flynn thing went sort of sideways. So Devin's like, hey, I need someone to run this Russia investigation. And at the time, both he and I were like, nobody's going to watch this thing. Nobody's going to pay attention. Let's just do this congressional report that will bore people, and we'll move on. And we were both wrong.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Just off.
And everything that went down, so the whole Mike Flynn thing,
it
had to be, as you're watching it play out, you're thinking, what are you thinking to yourself as the whole Mike Flynn thing is playing out?
Well, I don't know Mike Flynn.
Right.
I know he got appointed to be the head of the NSC, so I'm like, okay, let me try and go work for him.
Right.
And that was kind of it. And then I see all this happening, and I'm like, something's really weird. And then he gets, then he resigns, and it's all just kind of a circus for a little bit. So,
right.
And I was still at DOJ, or I was at JSOC, I was just like, okay, I guess I got to wait this thing out for a little bit. But then literally like a month later, I'm down in the basement in House Intel in the skiff.
Wow.
Figuring out how to work on Capitol Hill, which I was like, what am I doing here?
Wow. And then, so now here you are, Devin Nunes brings you in, and he's like, listen, this is getting really crazy now. Now it's gone from, he's doing press conferences. He's talking about what he knows, information that he has or doesn't have, as the case might be with the dossier, which we'll talk about later, right? And all of a sudden now it starts to pick up, and it's like, wait a minute, this is getting big. So you come in, and what's the first thing? Like, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is the 3 C's that you talked about, right? Okay, so now you've got to put these pieces together, everything that's going on, all the information you have. Early on, what kind of information do you have? And then explain to people what are the 3 C's that you were looking at specifically?
Sure, so early on, I figured out, I met Trey Gowdy, who was on the committee,
Yeah.
and Devin was like, basically, you and Trey are going to run this thing. He's the member, you're the staffer, go, because we're both former federal prosecutors. And Trey comes up to me at a sidebar and goes, hey, listen, this, just so you know, Congress is where good investigations come to die.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh boy, here we go, because we have no resources. I was coming out of DOJ, and I was like, I can do whatever I want.
Right.
So that was the hard part. So I said, all right, let's keep it simple. Let's figure out who we need to talk to. Let's get a list, 70 whatever people. But while we're doing that, we need documents. Those things tell the story, not the interviews. The interviews are sort of like window dressing. You might get a little bit here and there. So we started compiling lists of documents that we would need. And the first thing at the time in the spring of 17 was the FISA stuff, right? The dossier had just come out. So I read this thing and I'm like, this is insane. If it's true, I said, Devin, this guy is a foreign agent if some of this stuff's true, but we need to look into it. So that's where we started.
Right.
And then once we figured out the dossier was a good chunk of the FISA, which we couldn't talk about then for a long time.
Right.
But once we figured that out, I said, Devin, this is a red light. We gotta look into this thing.
So that was it. So when you knew that was the red lights, and then you said, okay, let's look at what's in the dossier, and let's start taking one thing at a time. Let's tackle the things that we know we can prove. And the first thing that you went out to prove was what?
So probably the first big thing where I said, look, there's some pretty salacious stuff in here about a hotel room, the president, and prostitutes. Like,
right.
This isn't, this was before he was president, so this is pretty easy to trying to drill down on. So I looked it up. I said, well, this hotel room doesn't exist in this hotel in Moscow. So a guy like Christopher Steele, who was a career MI6 officer, would probably want to get that right. He got that wrong. The second thing was, they said Michael Cohen was in Prague, and I was like, this is easy. Let's just go get the plane records. Like, this is a no-brainer.
Right.
He never left the United States in that month.
Right.
So I was like, all right, now we're getting some credibility problems. Now let's look at the sources of, the dossier. And that took some time, but that's where we started.
Right. So those little pieces that start to add up. Mike, did you want to ask a quick question?
No, I'm just, I'm always stunned that the Michael Cohen thing, because it's not like it's the most uncommon name in forever. I mean, we all spent a lot of time in New York. You could swing a cat and hit 10 Michael Cohens. And I'm not promoting cat swinging.
Yeah, please don't. Not on this show. Although it's not like you haven't before.
I know.
Other things, but we won't discuss. Okay, so now you're seeing all of this with the dossier. You're seeing all these parts, and then here comes James Comey, and you have all the issues with Comey now, and now he's getting brazen in saying and talking about what he did and what he was doing, and how now is this where now when all of that is happening? Maybe take me after that. So you're breaking down the dossier. Right. So what happens next?
Well, so the Comey stuff is basically a hangover from my time at Justice, because I was the lead main justice prosecutor for Benghazi, which led to the Hillary Clinton stuff, right?
Yeah.
So Comey does his thing. I'm used to him and McCabe and their song and dance and their totally egomaniacal
So you know
ways.
this. So you know all about this.
But I'm coming into Congress telling people these guys aren't exactly above board, and they're looking at me like I'm a lunatic, which is probably right. You're talking about the FBI director and the deputy director of the FBI,
right,
who've been there for a while. So I'm like, all right, now I got to work on not necessarily my credibility, but I got to just go back and prove this stuff. So I said, hey, I did FISAs. I was a terrorism prosecutor. I know how to put these things together. This is easy, Devin. Get me access to the FISA, which they did.
Right.
Let's dig in. And so from there, we started really diving into the source verifications in the FISA, because people didn't know how to do that. But I did. I said, I need these documents from the FBI. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And that's when they were first like, absolutely not. You're not getting anything. DOJ was like, you're wrong on everything you're telling us, and you're not getting squat.
Wow. And so, by the way, KashPatel joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. We're talking about The Plot Against the President, the movie that you have to see, and based on the best-selling book by Lee Smith, who's in the movie as well, and the true story of what is the biggest scandal in the United States history. And you talk about how this is bigger than a presidency, But isn't there something that was happening? I don't know if it was Comey or McCabe, but there was a pattern that you witnessed in the past, like how they would do things with Benghazi, for example, and how they laid that foundation, and other things that had happened in the past where wasn't there something that was going on where there was a pattern of how they would go against those who were questioning things that were happening, like Benghazi?
Yeah, I mean, and that culminated with his, famous summertime announcement when he basically bucked the Department of Justice and said, I'm going to make my unilateral decision. I was a National Security Division prosecutor then.
Yeah.
There's not a single person that I worked with that wouldn't have taken that Clinton email case to the grand jury.
Right.
And I didn't know anybody's politics in there. We were super apolitical. I was an Obama appointee, just FYI.
Yeah.
At the Justice Department. So I was just like, why is the director of the FBI hijacking the role of the Attorney General? But America doesn't know, that's how it works.
Right.
It's just details to them. But for us, it was incredibly offensive to have him go out on national TV, not speak to us or the Attorney General and say, I'm making the call on on a prosecutorial decision. By law, that's the job of the Justice Department.
Yeah, like when Comey says, when he did that interview, that famous interview with Nicole Wallace, and about the FBI, the agents.
Yeah.
And he says it. I sent them. I sent them in there. I sent the agents. So the agents, you have two sets of agents, right? You have Flynn, who believes that he's going to speak to the FBI, but then they send agents in before that turn out to be Pienka and Strzok, right?
Yeah.
The two, right? The original ones. He goes in and has the conversation with them, and thinking, and he has scheduled a meeting with the FBI the day after that. So that's how they get what we come to find out and ask for, which were the 302s, which is the information from what was said in that conversation,
right?
Which happened with Strzok and Pienka. But that now you have a situation, Cash, where and we have to remember the time period. We're in a time where this didn't happen really. Who's doing the things, questioning the FBI or the DOJ, right? Nobody's doing this. Right. So it's this odd. So you're in this place where you're getting all this information. Devin knows this thing stinks. He's, Congressman Devin Nunes. He knows this stinks, and yet now you have to do something and take a position that right away people are going to go, nobody does this. You don't do this. You don't say these things about. But you know what's going on.
Well, I just said, Devin, we're going to get really unpopular really fast. And and he knew it, and thankfully we had a leader in him who was willing to take it on, because if we didn't have him, it didn't matter what I did and what the team did. We had a great team with us. And the Flynn stuff, this is an interesting caveat, but I told Devin, I said, hey, look, from the Speaker of the House, this is the investigation we're supposed to run. I said, not for nothing, but we can't participate in the Michael Flynn thing. That's an ongoing FBI investigation. Like, if we make our investigation about Flynn, everyone's just going to be like, you guys are political.
Right.
I said, we can look at that later. Let's focus on the Russia collusion nonsense. Let's stick to the FISA, Steele, Carter Page, and let's get to the Strzoks and the McCabe's of the world and figure out what they did. So that was sort of the approach, which made us very unpopular in Trump's DOJ,
right?
Mind you,
right?
We had to deal with Rod Rosenstein, who is probably the worst deputy attorney general.
We'll talk about that, yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about that, like the some of the players that we hear about.
Well, Sessions by that time was sidelined.
Right.
He had sidelined himself, so that wasn't helpful.
Right.
And Rod was basically the de facto attorney general, so he was the one we were dealing with for documents from DOJ, because FBI reports to the DOJ.
Right.
And the one of the big things we went into him with was, look, we're having some problems with this FISA. Give me some of these, and I know which documents you got to go get. The source verification documents, this thing called the Woods file, whatever. It's basically fancy talk for, hey, on page 10 and line 12, it says this guy did X. What's the factual basis behind it? And it's in this file.
Right.
It's like a table of contents.
Okay.
I said, hey, I don't need the whole thing, but I need this, this, and this.
Right.
And then we get to Bruce Orr, who was, 30-year Department of Justice, super senior. He was the Associate Deputy Attorney General under Rod Rosenstein then. I said, this guy's doing stuff he shouldn't be doing. And Rod was like, you're out of your mind. You're totally wrong. And I was like, I'll tell you what. In his office in front of Trey Gowdy, Devin Nunes, me, Rosenstein, and his deputy, said, you get me the 302s on Bruce Orr, these things. And if they exist, let's read them.
Right.
If they don't, you can laugh me out of the room. You can go to the Times and tell them what a moron KashPatel is.
Right.
He goes, they don't exist, whatever. Looks at his guy, goes, hey, go get this stuff. The next day, I get a phone call in the morning. Cash, you got to get over to DOJ. I said, wow, it's 8 a.m. I'm not coming over. And they go, no, you need to get here. 12 Bruce Orr 302s.
They're there.
Right there.
And again, for those trying to keep track and keep score, remember that this is the DNC, right? This is all the funding that's going through.
This is the start of all
this is
that.
the DNC going to Perkins Coie, that's going to Fusion, that's going to Bruce.
I mean, it's easy to put together now, but these are like little things.
Right,
like I didn't know where they crossed over. I was like, Bruce Orr is a gangs prosecutor. What's he doing with this stuff? It was weird.
Right.
Then the Steele thing comes up, and I'm like, well, I know Bruce Orr and Chris Steele know each other from gang prosecutions, World Cup, criminal
So then it was
enterprise
so
stuff.
Nellior was really about Nellior then. Is that
Well,
what it
then
was?
we get to Nelly. Like Bruce is in there, and then we get to Fusion, and we're literally, me and my colleague are sitting at our computers in the basement of the Capitol, and we're doing some basic research, and he finds this picture with Bruce and Nellior at some party with the Fusion GPS guys, and I'm like, WTF? I'm like, what's going on? This makes no sense. So we had no idea at that point, but it was just like, this doesn't look right. So now, let's go follow the money. That was kind of the next step. Easy 101, not easy, but.
Yeah. And then the last thing, and did you want to ask a quick question? Because I have so many questions for Cash.
I could spend
I'll come back.
This is like
I could
Christmas
spend the whole.
morning.
You have no idea.
him.
I could spend the whole show with
he
you.
didn't sleep last night.
I did.
Santa was
I did. I
coming
was
today.
so excited.
He was very excited.
I'm
You
sorry
guys are
because
great.
you have to understand that Cash is like this.
I'll come back.
Putting the parts
easy
together
now.
and the pieces and being in on all of this and.
Well, the key is what was the straw that broke the camel's back? What was the aha moment where you went, Sancta Vaca? What is going? That's Latin for holy cow.
Okay.
Internally, I would say it's certain pieces of the FISA on Carter Page that when we went into it and we saw the dossier, and I said, hey, who is this guy Christopher Steele and what are his sources? Because this is pretty outrageous stuff. They're saying they're going to pay this Carter Page guy, nice American guy, $20 billion. The Russian government's going to give him $20 billion. No joke. That's the number. If you help us with Trump when he comes in. And I was like, this is so easy to prove. Did this meeting happen? It's in Moscow. There's witnesses. It wasn't in some basement.
Yeah.
And so that was the internal thing. The external thing took a couple more months to develop, and that was the money. I was like, Devin, somebody had to pay for this thing. Let's go get some bank records. We got a source of our own who told us where people were banking, and maybe you want to look here. And then we had to get a subpoena, which was like the fight of my life, which I thought was hysterical. But I was just like, yeah, let's go get a subpoena. I'm a DOJ guy.
Did that resistance make you feel like I'm going the right
Oh,
way?
yeah.
Oh yeah, they
That's
had
the
to. Yeah,
indicator.
you guys had to know it. Exactly.
Why won't you hand this over?
By that point, and then now we're racing into the fall of 17, and we take Fusion GPS to court because they don't want to issue their bank stuff. The judge, under a federal court order, allows me and my colleague to see their entire bank records, which I still can't talk about to this day. I couldn't even tell Devin.
Wow.
I was able to go in there, renegotiate, and say, hey, let's find what's relevant to us.
Right.
And we finally made that disclosure. So when we were in there, I'm like, boom, 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 whatever, company XYZ, Nellie Orr. I'm like, what? She's on the payroll? What is she doing?
Right.
And we found out she was doing Russian research. And then we had the Bruce Orr 302s, the investigative reports, where the FBI is basically running Bruce Orr as a source. And I'm like, this husband and wife guy working for the DNC at DOJ is putting himself in the middle of a FISA, and he's being run like a source. I was like, this is insane.
Right. Unbelievable. I'm looking at the time, and we got to run. But here's what I would tell you: come back. Please come back. I want to do. I would love to follow up because what I really want to do is, and maybe I would like to follow up on what happens next with Rick Grinnell and coming in now and saying, okay, it's the end of the Trump administration, but hold on a second, we can't end this. We got to get some information out. We got to start finding out more about people like Stefan Halper and others, where we can be getting all of this before we don't have access to it anymore. I mean, quite honestly, right? I mean, that's what it had to be a concern.
Well, the Stefan Halper thing, sorry, real quick, was the flag. We figured it out 3 years ago.
Right.
Wow.
We couldn't talk about it till yesterday.
It's maddening.
Literally yesterday when the D-class hit.
But I have to share something that nobody will understand.
And Jake, just be ready. We're gonna just pull that down, Jake. Pull that down for a second. Pull that down. We'll take the break in just a second. Go ahead.
Cash has matches from Marine One.
I gotta give them to nobody.
All right, KashPatel, I want you. Please come back. Thank you so much. I
Thanks
appreciate
for having me.
Thanks.
This
I
is
appreciate
fun.
it so much. All right, Jake, you can bring in the music. All right, it's Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. Right all along.
This is Daybreak. 92.5 Fox News.
Welcome to Smart Floors. For a limited time, Smart Floors is offering contractor pricing on all CoreTech vinyl luxury flooring. CoreTech, normally priced at $3.99 a square foot, is yours for only $2.99. And CoreTech, that's $5.99, is now only $4.49. No gimmicks, no hassles, just smart service at a smart price. In Naples, next to Home Goods in the Park Shore Plaza.
When shopping for new floor, we stand for so much more. Smart service, smart prices, Smart Floors.
Hi, I'm Tyler McDaniel. And I'm Brad McDaniel. We're the second generation of Kenmark Air. Along with our father, Ken McDaniel, we're celebrating 25 years of service in Southwest Florida. For the next 25 days, we're offering $25 service calls, $25 maintenance, and 25% off high-quality Maytag systems. For our 25th anniversary specials, call Kenmark Air, 239-437-7040. That's 437-7040. And online at kenmarkair.com. License number CAC 057163.
The Mega Mall meat sale in Fort Myers and Port Charlotte right now for a limited time. Hurry now. 20 ribeyes for $30. EBT, credit cards, debit cards, all payments accepted. Last chance to compare 5-star steaks to Omaha Steak Box steak deals and save on the ribeyes. 20 ribeyes for $30. Look for the big tent at Edison Mall at the Cleveland Road entrance. Also look for the big truck at the Port Charlotte Town Center in the JCPenney parking lot behind Red Lobster. Also on the big truck, crazy deals on premium steak, pork, seafood, and gourmet chicken breast. Everything must go. It's a truckload meat mania sale. Look for the big tent at the Edison Mall at the Cleveland Road entrance. Also look for the big truck at the Port Charlotte Town Center in the JCPenney parking lot behind Red Lobster. Crazy deals on Kansas City strips, fillets, bacon wrap fillets, mega ribeyes, and get 20 ribeyes for $30. The Mega Mall meat sale going on now at Edison Mall in Port Charlotte Town Center. Don't wait.
It's the new Commander-in-Chief's first military action. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, ordering airstrikes in Syria targeting Iran-backed fighters who had attacked Americans. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin.
We said a number of times, we will respond on our timeline.
Fox's Simon Owen has more live.
Dave, at least one fighter is reported to have been killed in the airstrikes, which were launched overnight in Syria. A senior U.S. official tells Fox News the attack should be seen as a warning to Iran and the militia groups it supports. The Pentagon says it targeted buildings used by militias in retaliation for recent rocket attacks against American service personnel in Iraq. Russia, which is heavily involved in Syria's civil war, has condemned the strikes. Dave?
Simon, there are COVID outbreaks on 2 U.S. warships in the Persian Gulf with sailors infected on the USS San Diego and the USS Philippine Sea. An outbreak on an aircraft carrier last year left more than 1,100 sailors with the virus, and one of them died.
The only way to contain this pandemic and help the American people as quickly as possible is passing the plan as quickly as possible.
So today, the House is expected to pass President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID financial aid package, including more payments to most Americans, extra and extended unemployment benefits. Now, Democrats are disappointed a $15 minimum wage they say will boost pay to millions won't be in the Senate's bill. The parliamentarian ruled it violates the complex budget reconciliation process being used to draft the bill. Republicans are glad. Senator Rick Scott told Fox.
We're in a pandemic. Look at our unemployment rate. Look at the number of people who don't have a job. And now we're saying, oh, we're going to kill more jobs by raising the minimum wage. You know what you get paid when you don't have a job? Zero.
Today, an FDA panel will review Johnson & Johnson's one-dose version of coronavirus vaccine already deemed safe in clinical trials. America's listening to Fox News.
So much 92.5 WFSX Estero. It's 8 o'clock on Southwest Florida's news and talk station, 92.5 Fox News. From smartphones and TVs to desktops, laptops, and tablets.
Every audio device in this hemisphere.
All you have to do is tell your smart device to play 92.5 Fox News.
People say they don't like going to the dentist, but what they mean is they don't like the discomfort. Dr. Alan Rembos at smilesbyrembos.com understands. Dr. Rembos uses computerized anesthetic delivery, resulting in 50% fewer injections. And Dr. Rembos places and restores implants, eliminating delays, additional costs, and no running around. New patients and emergencies usually seen within 24 hours. Cosmetic treatment often completed in 1 to 2 weeks. Read the reviews at smilesbyrembos.com. Offices in Marco, Naples, Sanibel, and Fort Myers.
Hi, Michael Crothers, owner of Pure Air Conditioning. Now that our economy is reopened and to help the community, we've decided to offer a safe $29 AC maintenance. All Pure Air employees are supplied with gloves, foot coverings, and KN95 masks for your and their protection. Find us online at getpureair.com to schedule your safe $29 AC maintenance. Join me every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. for the Get Pure Air radio show. I'll be talking about everything from air conditioning maintenance to troubleshooting tips.
You probably know Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano for car accidents and other personal injury matters. But did you know they have attorneys who specialize in many other areas of the law? Whether you're in need of creating or updating your will and testament, or need advice about divorce or child custody, they have an attorney for you. And unlike the all too familiar competitors, at Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano, you'll be meeting directly with the attorney handling your matter, not some coordinator or case manager looking to increase their numbers. Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano. They've been serving you for over 35 years. Have a family law question? Are you seeking a divorce or have child custody issues you need resolved? Do you need assistance with dividing property? At Lusk, Dre Sites, and Talisano, their attorneys can walk you through this difficult process as the needed advocate to protect your legal rights. They've been here for you in the past, they're here today, and will be here for you tomorrow. LDTlaw.com. Offices Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Naples.
We're honest and true, and we're here to serve you. The National Exterminators.
Who can deliver the best pest control service for my money? And how much is it? National Exterminators, guaranteed. With most service plans at just $46. You got to give them a call.
How much?
$46. In business for over 40 years, National Exterminators is a local family-owned business. National Exterminators' pledge to you is to always provide the highest level of service, guaranteed.
Wait, how much?
Yeah, $46.
Don't pay more than $46. Now's the time to switch and save. Just call 46 No Bug. That's 46 No Bug. They'll clean it up, seal it up, and make sure your home is pest-free and comfortable. Call them at 239-46 No Bug or go to pestcontrolmadeeasy.com. Yes, just $46.
We're honest and true, and we're here to serve you. The National Exterminators.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. New South is the Florida window factory. Our windows are made in Florida, for Florida homes, by Florida workers, because we understand Florida weather. With New South Windows, you don't have to sacrifice energy efficiency or storm protection. Our Energy Star rated windows and doors are made with impact and non-impact options, giving you the best of both worlds. New South Window, home of your ultimate Florida window.
Going on now. For every 2 windows you buy, get the third free. Visit newsouthwindow.com.
Is foot pain making your life miserable? The Good Feet store specializes in foot pain relief. Call 552-FEET or visit us at the Good Feet store in Naples or our newest location in Fort Myers. Or stop in for a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
This is Mike Roberts, Vice President at Mortgage Warehouse, Southwest Florida's mortgage price leader and home of the no closing cost mortgage. No points, no hidden fees, no loan costs, period. If the mortgage you have right now was done prior to COVID-19, you should call us for a free review. At Mortgage Warehouse, we understand how frustrating it can be to make your mortgage payment month after month, and the loan balance just doesn't seem to go down. The payment is mostly interest, but we can help with that. We can combine near record low mortgage rates with our local no closing cost program to improve your mortgage payment right away. You do not have to roll any closing costs into your loan balance to get these ultra low mortgage rates. You can apply online at mortgagewarehouse.com or call 313-5000. That's 313-5000. mortgagewarehouse.com.
Certain restrictions apply. NMLS ID 137154. Equal housing lender.
Minutes still matter when it comes to medical emergencies. In some cases, fast care can be life-saving, especially for heart attacks and strokes. So don't delay or be afraid to get help if you need it. Physicians Regional Healthcare System is safe and ready to care for you with limited entry points, screening for everyone, deep cleaning, and social distancing. We're taking extra precautions to help keep you safe. Don't put off emergency care. Visit ercarephysiciansregional.com or call 911 in an emergency.
There is always a better way, and we will always chase after it. We're building a cleaner energy future with millions of solar panels, and we're using the latest technology, investing in energy that's not just the most reliable or the cleanest, but also the most affordable. As we see it, the horizon is always moving, and to chase it is to deliver America's best energy value for you and for Florida. See how at fpl.com/value.
from 92.5 Fox News.
It's the stuff Southwest Florida is talking about.
It's Daybreak. Now, here's the guy at the epicenter of what's important to those of us who live in Southwest Florida. Drew Steele.
Well, good morning, Southwest Florida. Glad you're here. 239-479-5592 is the talking text line. Streaming live, drewsteele.com. The website, it's mobile friendly, so you can watch on your mobile device. Also, for the time being, YouTube and Facebook at Drew Steele Radio, but who knows how long that lasts. I don't know. We just we take our chances. Mike Opelka is here, CPAC 2021, as we broadcast live if you want to watch the program, and the great Hans von Spakovsky joining us, senior legal fellow from the Heritage Foundation, heritage.org, former FEC commissioner, DOJ lawyer. Boy, the way I have questions that we can get into when it comes to Robert Mueller and even Merrick Garland that we can get into in certain election integrity issues as well. So first of all, good morning. It's great to see you. How are you today?
Yeah, no, it's nice to be in person with you guys
rather
than just on the phone.
Yeah, we usually get the call in, but it's nice to see you here. Hey, I might even start with that. Maybe you can give me your impression of Merrick Garland when you were watching. You know, I think I was shocked, as many people were, that you thought, well, we've heard this name all along, Merrick Garland. Merrick Garland's going to be the next Supreme Court justice, and this is a travesty what happened to him. And then we watched and witnessed what he was saying, and then many people thought, well, goodness, I'm not sure if that's what we wanted on the Supreme Court. I'm not sure if some of the things that he's talking about is really what we want when it comes to
Well,
the
not
courts.
only was he unimpressive, he spent the whole time dodging giving answers.
Yeah.
And some of them were just amazing. As you know, at one point he was asked, well, do you think it should remain a crime, illegal to cross into the United States without permission? And he couldn't answer the question. He hadn't really thought about it.
No.
Well, there was a whole list of things he couldn't answer.
Yes.
There's a montage from the Daily Caller that takes about 3 minutes. And
right.
If you don't know that much, I don't know that much. That means I'm qualified for the job he's up for.
Yeah. And so there was that. And then, we were even talking before about your experience looking into and watching the Mueller investigation,
right.
And what were your thoughts as everything was taking place? Like, what were you thinking at the time as you're watching the story unfold?
I was extremely skeptical about what was going on.
Yeah.
And the reason being is, remember, all of that started with all of this unconfirmed, unverified claims being made, and for that the FBI launches this major investigation. They set up a special counsel. Michael Flynn was investigated because he was the incoming national security advisor for Donald Trump, and they're investigating him because he spoke with the Russian ambassador. That's what the national security advisor is supposed to do.
Right.
He's supposed to be talking to a foreign official. None of that was illegal, and yet they launched this huge investigation. And frankly, based on my experience in the Justice Department and dealing with the swamp, and there really is a swamp, there are all these career civil service people, particularly in the Justice Department, who are far left. And when a Republican comes into office, their whole spiel is, one, we don't want to put in place any of the priorities they have on law enforcement, and we will do everything we can to embarrass them and stop them. And I saw that during the Bush administration when I was working at the Justice Department.
Yeah. And then the second thing that I love talking to you about is the vote, election integrity. Maybe we need to be more like France. That's what we need, Hans, because I understand that France now is talking about getting rid of mail-in ballots and voting machines. They're going to ban them in France. We need to be more like France, Hans. Is that it?
Yeah, well, we ought to at least adopt their having to show an ID.
Yeah.
You have to show a photo ID if you want to vote anywhere in France. And of course, here, all these people say, oh, you can't do that.
Racist.
Yeah,
racist.
Right.
IDs are racist. But Georgia is apparently advancing a photo ID law that just passed through their situation. So I don't know if you saw that. I think that just happened yesterday.
Well, they're amending their law. They actually have a photo ID law in place, but it only covers in-person voting. They're amending it to cover absentee balloting.
Oh. Wow.
Which is something that Alabama did years ago. They fought it. They had to fight in the court to keep it in place because twice the usual number of suspects sued them. and the courts upheld it and said it's not discriminatory. And you talk to the average guy, I don't care whether they're black or white, they all say, it's not discriminatory to ask for an ID. We need an ID in everything we do every day.
Right.
If I want to buy a beer.
to buy Sudafed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's, but that goes to a point that, it's we understand common sense. We talk about common sense, and we can't be afraid of common sense.
Yes,
we can't be afraid to have the
right.
conversation about common sense. I mean, when it's that fundamental and basic, what are you afraid of?
Yeah, but you all need to understand, and this has gotten gotten a lot of news. Nancy Pelosi is bringing to the floor this week H.R. 1.
Yeah.
H.R. 1 is this 800-page monstrosity bill that would be a federal takeover of elections, and it would, for example, ban all state voter ID laws, if you could believe that. Wow. It would.
Does it apparently negate the 10th Amendment, too? Is that included in those 800 pages?
Well, the 10th Amendment is one of those amendments that liberals don't think actually exists in the Bill of Rights. Just like they believe the Bill of Rights skips from the First Amendment to the Third Amendment.
Right.
There's no Second Amendment.
And
there.
weakens the Fourth.
Right.
No matter what.
So how do we do this, Hans? Hans von Spakovsky joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, Heritage Foundation, heritage.org, senior legal fellow there. How do we do this? How do we make sure that we don't have another situation like we had with for many, the clear, blatant violation of the Constitution with states like Pennsylvania, who at the last minute decided to change election laws there without using the legislature, and then trying to go to the Supreme Court, the one place that we would assume we would get the voices to be heard to answer these questions. What do we do then? I mean, where do we go now?
Well, we can't fix all these problems, but there are a lot of these problems we can fix. In fact, beginning of February at Heritage, we published a paper that is a list of the best practices recommendations on elections. It's basically a recipe for state legislatures. Here's how you should fix your election laws. And it's got all these recommendations in it, like, of course you need a voter ID law, and you need to apply it to both in-person and absentee ballot. Of course you need a witness signature requirement on absentee ballots. By the way, H.R. 1 would also void that. No state would be allowed to have a witness signature requirement on absentee ballots.
I wonder if they'll also negate that on recall petitions. I'm just saying. Now, if your list of suggested behaviors to secure our elections was the only list that was in Pelosi's bill, would you support it?
No, because I don't want the feds. Look, the system we have is states run elections.
Right. Well, I'm with you.
And for every good thing that Congress could do, it can do a bad thing. And that's why the framers of the Constitution said, we don't want Congress. We don't want the federal government saying what the election rules are, because you know what that means? It means the people in power in Washington might change the rules to make sure they stay in office.
No, well, yeah, and that's they've pretty much done that anyway.
Right.
Yeah, and we all have that concern, and what the remedy, and we've got to be confident, and I'm sure you could speak to that as well, that we have to have remedies available that we are confident that we will be heard, that we'll be able to have cases brought before people and not have them questioned. And that's going to be part of a lot of things that we do moving forward, is it not?
Yeah, it is, and I can't tell you how disappointed and shocked I was on Monday when the Supreme Court refused to take up that Pennsylvania case and make a decision. Only 3 of the conservative justices dissented, Thomas, Alito, and Gorsuch. I couldn't believe it when I saw that Kavanaugh and Amy Coney Barrett, who conservatives worked so hard to get on the court, and they voted with the liberals not to take the case.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. All right, Hans, we appreciate a few minutes of your time. Hans von Spakovsky, Heritage Foundation, heritage.org. We always love having you on the program, and we have to do this again. Actually, next week, I've got some other things that I'm going to reach out to you as well about. So
Sounds good.
And we'll see you around here as well. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you.
239-479-5592. I see our friend JennaEllis is getting ready to take the microphone, so we are very appreciative that she's coming by right now. As we switch over the microphone.
You know you're going to lose me again.
No, not necessarily.
Well, it's that thing I do.
No, I know I'm going to lose you, but I've got JennaEllis.
Jenna, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah, he's going to go do.
I swear to you, it's not you,
yet.
it's me.
In a minute, you've got to do something, but first you have to say hi to Jenna because it's the first time that we've actually seen each other face to face. All the time that we've been talking together,
which has been several years.
Yes,
I think
it
by
has.
now
Yes,
it's
it
been
has
quite
been.
a while.
Yeah.
So this is very exciting.
You tolerated me in person once when I was filling in for Drew, so
Yes.
thank you.
You're welcome. Yes.
And maybe I'll be back.
Yeah, the great JennaEllis joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, who, by the way, hasn't been very busy lately. It's been just a slow, very boring year for her, and so it's boy, you have been. There's so many things that have been going on. Clearly, first of all, right out of the gate, let's talk about the exciting news. Can we bring to everybody's attention the exciting news?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so excited. So I am starting a daily TV show in primetime on Real America's Voice News. So you can find all the channels on digital. It's on Pluto TV, Apple, Roku, all of that. And it'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern daily. And so that's launching next week on Thursday. And it's called Just the Truth. So we're going to be exploring, of course, all of the issues in constitutional law and the Christian worldview, everything I think that people really want to know, Drew, about civics, about solutions, and things that I think that a lot of TV shows don't generally bring to an audience.
Right.
That's why I love radio, frankly, because you have longer segments, you have a lot longer time to do a deep dive with guests, so that's what I want to bring to this program.
Oh, that's going to be awesome. And, when you talk about deep dives and some of the issues, you talk about we just got finished talking about how sad Hans was, particularly, and how we all were about the Supreme Court deciding again not to take up the Philadelphia case, which is so critical to and again, if we can't find remedy, Jen, if we don't have a place that we can go where we know there's remedy, and at least to have our voices heard, then what do we do next?
Yeah, and I think that Justice Thomas in his 11-page dissent was absolutely spot on where he said, if we leave election law under the shroud of mystery, what are we doing? Right. And basically we're giving the American people this understanding that no one can ever challenge the results of an election. We all knew going into it, and I was very upfront during this process, that we had such a limited time frame, and it was such a complex series of cases, not 60 like the liberal left said. We only filed around 8, but even then, it was such a complex problem that even in that truncated time period, the Supreme Court still, after the inauguration, should go back and say, were there rules that were broken? What are the remedies even for future elections? So I think it's incumbent upon us as Americans to take it upon ourselves then to go back into the state legislatures and lobby for legislation in these states that put back safeguards to say we don't want to have mail-in ballots. We don't want to have these administrators of elections that are going to disregard the legislative rules. That's against the constitutional process. We need to have other checks and balances. Right. All of that is completely fair. And the other thing we absolutely shouldn't do is be afraid that the left is going to cancel us just because we're talking about election integrity.
Thank you. Right. And exactly. We have to be bold, and that's what former President Trump brought to this country, was being bold, not being afraid, not being pushed around, finally saying to people, listen, enough is enough. We're not going to let you put us in a box. We're not going to let you tell us that we're white supremacists. We're not going to do anything like that. Those days are over. And if you want to join the Liz Cheney party, if you want to do it, you knock yourself out. If that's where you want to go, if you really think, and that's a whole other story. I'm sorry, that gets me crazy, Jenna.
It does.
But, all right, so let me ask you this, because on a state level, this is something that I brought up earlier this morning. I've been talking about a lot, and you just kind of hinted at a little bit. How easy is it to do this? Can the state legislature here in the state of Florida, for example, say to the federal government, we absolutely, positively, this state legislature, with the governor signing, we are not going to follow anything that comes from the federal government that we feel is unconstitutional. We're just not going to do it. Can we do that here in this state?
In terms of like the mask mandates and
mask,
some of those
right,
things.
exactly,
yeah,
mask
so I want to
mandates.
make sure, because so we live in a federalist system, and what generally the left doesn't understand about that is that the federal government doesn't have jurisdiction over state sovereignty when it is a state issue. So the CDC and other federal agencies, they don't make law. at all. They can recommend, but it is up to the individual states to take the resources and recommendations. That's what President Trump always said throughout the task force, all of the things when he was the president, said we will give resources and recommendations to the state to implement according to their own state law and also according to the needs of their own communities.
Right.
And so absolutely, so if you're dealing with other federal jurisdiction, like if you're flying on an airplane, for example, and it's under FAA regulations, some of those things, if they require you to wear a mask, that's a different category. But here in the state, it's up to the individual states to follow their own emergency acts, which, by the way, we are now over a year since the 15 days to stop the spread.
Oh, is that it? Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Feels
so
like it
those
was just
15 days
yesterday.
have been really long.
Yeah.
There is no way that a declaration of emergency under the legislative acts of any individual state was ever contemplated to cover a so-called emergency for this length of time. There is no justification that any governor of any state has anymore to say that this is now an emergency, because the state legislatures, of course, could have reconvened and could have addressed these issues within the proper legislative context. The only reason the emergency powers were ever granted to a governor of a state is to deal with an actual emergency, which was supposed to be temporary in time and duration.
Boy, does that go back to like the Patriot Act, and when you're talking about even in the state of Florida, the powers that are given to the governor here in emergency powers, which may not be a concern for this governor, Jenna, but he's not going to be the governor forever. I mean, as much as people would love to have Governor DeSantis here in the state of Florida for a long period of time, it's not going to happen. And then you have to worry about if back then, due to the Patriot Act and at that moment in time where those powers were given to the governor, who's going to come along next and claim that those are the reasons why I'm doing these mandates and doing... I think that's a real fear.
Yeah, and that's why we always have to be concerned about precedent. We always have to be concerned about the next administration. And so that's why we always have to make sure that you have judicial review. The entire purpose of judicial review is to make sure that the legislature and the executive do not overstep their limited powers, and they also don't overstep their coordinate branch's powers. So it's not up to the executive ever to legislate. There is no authority there. And if the legislature delegates their own authority, you can have a violation of the separation of powers in that area. And so what we're dealing with this entire scope of the pandemic really is a critical mass test on our Constitution. And we have to have people within the judicial branch and also regular citizens that are willing to stand firm and say the Constitution has to be enforced even in the midst of a pandemic. There is nothing in the Constitution that provides that our rights as individuals are ever suspended just because a governor or an elected official declares some state of emergency. But that's what's happening in America today.
Right, so safe to say that when somebody says, oh no, Jenna, the precedent's been set, look at what happened during we already did these lockdowns, we already did these things. You don't get to say that and not have your legal point of view or your legal advantage there as well, as because the precedent is about the legal precedent. It's not because you did it is not your precedent. You can't say, hey, Jenna, we already locked down. So if we have to do it again in the future, when next year, COVID-22 comes out or whatever it is, we don't get to do this again because we did it before. We have to have that legal precedent. That's why it's so important.
That's why it's so important to make these challenges in court and to have a good legal precedent to review the actions, because the action always takes place.
Right.
And then you have to go back and analyze that and say, was that actually constitutional or not? And that's why it's so incredibly important as well to have the election integrity issues litigated and have precedent. And again, why Justice Thomas was absolutely correct.
Right. Okay, before we go, tell them again, they're going to watch you. Where are they going to watch? Tell us all about it.
Yes, on Real America's Voice News. You can go download the app, by the way. You can stream that. It'll be 6 p.m. Eastern daily starting next Thursday, Just the Truth. And I also will have a podcast on Just the News, John Solomon's group. Really excited about that. I'm going to do a deep dive on the first one on election integrity, answer those questions of what happened. What I get, the question that I most often get from everyone is, well, what happened? Where are we going now? So definitely stream that on Apple, all of the podcast services. And tune in to Just the Truth, Real America's Voice News, 6 p.m. Eastern, starting on Thursday.
Woo! JennaEllis joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. I'm so excited because of that and because I got a chance to see you finally after all these years.
I know, so excited.
All right, we're going to do this again soon. All right, Jenna, all the best. 239-479-5592. Let's take a break. And when we come back, we've got GordonGChang joining us. We've got MattWhitaker joining us. What's that?
Yes, GordonGChang.
GordonGChang. That's what I said. GordonGChang's going to be joining us.
I thought you were asking.
No, I'm not asking. I said... Oh, and we're taking a picture. All right, we're live at CPAC 2021. It's Mike Opelka. It's Drew Steele. JennaEllis is in the picture as well. All right. Right all along. We'll see you later.
This is Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News.
When you're running a business, you don't have time to worry about slow internet or confusing cybersecurity. So get fast, reliable internet from Comcast Business on the network that can deliver gig speeds to the most businesses. You can add the advanced security of Comcast Business Security Edge to help eliminate threats. And enjoy the peace of mind that comes with knowing 24/7 support is just a phone call away. It's internet and advanced security made simple, so you can bounce forward with Comcast Business. Help your business bounce forward with an amazing offer from Comcast Business. Get started with a powerful and reliable internet and voice solution for $35 each a month for 24 months for 2 years when you buy both. Plus, ask how to add Comcast Business Security Edge. Call 1-800-501-6000 today to find out more. Restrictions apply. Limited to new Comcast Business 35 megabits per second internet and one voice mobility customers. Early termination fee applies. Enrollment in EcoBill and autopay required. Security Edge available when added to Comcast Business Internet for additional monthly charge. Call for details.
Hi, I'm Tyler McDaniel.
And I'm Brad McDaniel.
We're the second generation of Kenmark Air.
Along with our father, Ken McDaniel, we're celebrating 25 years of service in Southwest Florida. For the next 25 days, we're offering $25 service calls, $25 maintenance, and 25% off high-quality Maytag systems.
For our 25th anniversary specials, call Kenmark Air, 239-437-7040. That's 437-7040.
And online at kenmarkair.com. License number CAC 057163.
Does market turbulence and economic turmoil have you worried about your retirement nest egg? I'm Alfie Townsend. Learn how to navigate these uncertain times. Tune in to Saving the Investor radio show every Saturday at 9 a.m. or visit us at savingtheinvestor.com.
This is State Representative Spencer Roach. Did you know that Florida has a part-time legislature that meets for 60 days each year at the state capitol in Tallahassee? There are 120 members of the Florida House and 40 members of the Florida Senate. The Florida Constitution requires that each member be at least 21 years old, a registered voter, and a resident of Florida 2 years prior to election. Our Constitution also requires the legislature to pass a balanced budget every year. In 1992, almost 80% of Florida voters approved term limits of 8 years for all legislators. The pay is set by statute at $29,697 per year. Lee County is represented by 4 House members and 3 state senators. And remember, they all work for you. Soon we'll be heading to Tallahassee for our 2021 legislative session, and I'll be doing weekly updates right here on 92.5 to keep you informed of all the work we're doing on your behalf. This is Spencer Roach. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned and stay engaged. Sponsored by Friends of Spencer Roach, P.O. Box 3179, North Fort Myers, Florida, 33918.
Hi, this is Earl Ron, president of New South Window. New South is Florida's factory direct window company. We manufacture, install, and guarantee your windows for life. One company, one call. Our replacement windows are made to better enhance the energy efficiency of your home and stand up to Florida weather. New South Window, home of the ultimate Florida window for you. Made in Florida or Florida homes by Florida workers, because we know Florida weather.
Going on now. Buy 2 windows, get a third free. Call 1-800-NEW-WINDOWS.
We've been waiting for COVID-19 vaccines to be developed. Now, waiting for them to get to us. But you can do more than wait. You have powerful ways to help slow the spread right now and protect your family and loved ones too. Here's how. Watch your distance. Stay at least 6 feet away from folks you don't live with. It's risky to be indoors with them too. And of course, avoid crowds. Also, wear a mask. CDC reports masks protect the people who wear them and folks around them. And wash your hands using soap and water for 20 seconds. And do it frequently. Vaccines won't make COVID go away overnight, but they give us a real chance to finally overcome it. As long as we keep watching our distance, wearing our masks, and washing our hands.
Learn more about vaccines at cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I'm an interior designer and I trust Rock Solid.
If you're looking for just the right countertops for your home, the choice is simple. Rock Solid.
I'm a contractor and I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
I trust Rock Solid.
Whether you're a homeowner or a contractor who wants the finest countertops, choose Rock Solid. A company you can trust.
Rock Solid in the Pink Building, 2240 JNC Boulevard, Naples. Rock Solid. We don't stop at just countertops.
This update is presented by Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and Naples.
I won't give up the ship.
Talking about what matters.
This country is too great to throw over to communism. I love it.
92.5 Fox News.
Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page. Come for the food, stay for the sports.
It's Big Al from Stevie Tomatoes Sports Page. Do you feel like you're the forgotten person in this great country, working hard all your life and contributing to this country's greatness, but taken for granted by our politicians' quest for voters? Using their slogan, more taxes will set you free. At Stevie's, you are not forgotten. We love our customers and never want them to feel forgotten. We deliver the value you deserve with our food, service, and pricing. Making our customers feel special is our happiness. As the owner of Stevie Tomatoes, we cater to the forgotten person. Those of you who go about every day doing what it takes for them and their family while contributing to this country's greatness, its culture and values. I personally invite you to allow us to be a small part of what makes you feel special, and we promise to obtain your complete satisfaction. I guarantee it. For daily specials, go to StevieTomato.com. Stevie Tomato Sports Page in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Naples. Come.
Trust. It's the rock-solid foundation of Moran Wealth Management. Over 40 years ago, they began advising clients on ways to help meet their financial goals. 4 decades later, we've helped many reach their goals of providing for themselves, their families, and future generations. CEO Tom Moran has assembled an impressive team of professionals, each committed to the same core concept. Tom is recognized by Barron's as a Hall of Fame advisor. To be named a Hall of Fame advisor, the advisor has to have been ranked by Barron's consecutively for the last 10 years in any of their rankings. Let us earn your trust. Call 239-920-4440 or visit MoranWM.com. Barron's rankings are based on data provided by thousands of advisors. Factors included in the rankings were assets under management, revenue produced for the firm, regulatory record, length of service, quality of practice, and client retention. Investment products and services are offered through Wells Fargo Advisors Financial Network, LLC, WFAFN, member SIPC. Moran Wealth Management is a separate entity from WFAFN.
Hey, Dave, what's going on with your sink? It's full of water.
Really slow to drain.
You tried all the...
Yes, I've tried all the...
Just asking.
Yeah, it gets worse and worse.
So maybe...
Now the downstairs sink is slow, too. I don't dare flush the toilet.
Dave?
What's the point of having running water if it doesn't run out again?
Dave...
I might as well give up on indoor plumbing completely, build an outhouse, and haul water up from the river in a bucket!
Dave! So what's the best case scenario?
Best case? Okay, I make one call, someone comes out and gets the water moving again, and things go back to normal.
That's best?
Well, yeah, but...
That's best. Best Home Services. They have 4 plumbing trucks standing by, waiting for last-minute calls.
Right now?
Right now.
I don't need to build an outhouse?
It's a little chilly this time of year.
GetBest.com. When something goes wrong, we're waiting.
Indoor plumbing is a miracle, isn't it?
Yeah, only when it's working.
Oh, man.
Are you ready to embark on your healthcare journey? At Millennium Physician Group, we want you, our patient, to be in good health always. That's why we created our Destination Health New Patient Program. It's all about partnering with your primary care provider to achieve the best healthcare outcome for you. Now, are you ready for the journey of your life? Connect with Millennium Physician Group and be on your way to Destination Health. Call 844-CALL-MPG. 844-CALL-MPG, millenniumphysician.com.
Hey, it's Jake DeMolino here from Daybreak to talk about AMCO of Bonita Springs. Everyone's been affected by the pandemic, and I was definitely no exception. But here's the thing. I had an issue, a well-known issue. Kevin and Todd came to the rescue, effectively giving me my life back. They put their expertise to work on my transmission. That was completely shot. His master mechanic told me that it was probably the worst transmission he's seen in his 30 years of working. And let me tell you, he knocked it out of the park. He helped me, and I'm sure he can help you as well. AMCO of Bonita Springs has been trusted in Southwest Florida since 2008. They've been through pandemics, recessions, you name it. They're located right off of Burnwood Drive in Bonita, an independent, conservative AMCO dealer whose award-winning customer service speaks for itself. They work on all makes and models, and they don't just do transmissions. They can do oil changes, normal maintenance, tires, you name it. For those of you out there with classic cars, there's no one I could trust more than Kevin and Todd with something I know you cherish and is so near and dear to you. So give Kevin and Todd a call at AMCO of Bonita Springs, 239-992-2626, 239-992-2626.
After a car accident, you can feel like you've lost control. I'm Glenn Levine from the law offices of Anajar and Levine. Our team can help you understand your legal options after an accident. We will file your claim and fight for the full compensation you deserve. If you've been involved in a car accident, call the law offices of Anajar and Levine at 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733 for a free consultation. And take back control of your life.
Offices Fort Myers and Naples.
This is Drew Steele on 92.5 Fox News.
All right, it's Daybreak, 92.5 Fox News. It's Drew Steele along with Mike Opelka. We are live from CPAC 2021 right now. It is a weekend that you're starting to feel the bustle now, as the former president will be here on Sunday. As everything kind of shifted, we were here yesterday, and it seemed like, boy, it seems a little slower this year. No, the reason why was because they shifted everything a day over, and so today is technically the first day.
Yeah, but it's a big day because you have the biggest names are here. You have Ted Cruz coming in today, and he's had an interesting week. And you have McConnell, who will be speaking. You have the governor speaking. But the biggest name of all is the reason we're going to have to extend this hour, probably another half hour.
Yep, GordonGChang
is here.
We are so happy that you are here. Good morning. It's great to see you.
GordonGChang on Twitter. If you're not, you should be following him because there's just so much to keep up with and so many things. And we talk all the time, Gordon, and I keep going, it never ends. And I guess when we start talking about China and all of the tentacles that are reaching around the world and into our world, everything from video messaging programs to the infrastructure of our communications to maybe even our connection to Saudi Arabia, because if this intel report comes out about MBS authorizing the killing of Khashoggi, does China swoop in and start courting Saudi? And that's a strategic defense partnership in the region as far as I'm concerned. What's got your attention the most?
Well, as you say, China's attacks on us are unrelenting, and that really means that everything is just being flooded. I mean, I have a difficult time keeping up, and I don't do anything else.
Wow.
But right now, you talk about Khashoggi and Saudi Arabia, we got to be really, really concerned that if the Biden administration breaks ties with Riyadh, then the Chinese will just, as you say, swoop in, because they're already trying to do that.
Yeah.
They've got this big oil purchase agreement from Saudi Arabia. All the rest of it, they want the Saudis to adopt the renminbi as the method of currency for those transactions. This just seems to me to be one of those moments where we've got to understand that this is like a Cold War setting. China wants to overthrow our government, actively trying to do that by encouraging violence both last year and this year on American streets. And so we're in an existential struggle, which means that, it would be nice to be concerned about Khashoggi, and we all are. And we've got to talk to the Saudi government in ways which we haven't before. But we've got to remember that we have to keep our relationship with the kingdom.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and I look at, first of all, as I'm looking at your Twitter account, and I see that you have a tweet that involves China's state-affiliated media. And so my first reaction is, that's all I need to know. When it says China's state-affiliated media, I know what's coming next. And what's going to come next is pretty much propaganda. What's coming next is how awful we are and people are when it comes to the positions of China in many different things. But there are certain things that I'm always concerned about that we kind of talked about off the air, which is Huawei is something we've talked about, 5G we've talked about before. And my concern is that there is a society out there, whether you're talking about Europe or anywhere across the globe, where they're already conditioned to believe that Huawei is harmless. They have it right now. They're communicating with family members on their Huawei phones. This is something that is ubiquitous to them. They don't look at it the same way that we do, or maybe as the governments are looking and have some suspicions. Am I right about this? I mean, is it a concern that there are going to be governments that are going to look at it the same way, or is it really a bigger deal, which is we don't want to have this issue with China?
Yeah. Drew, this is really critical because Huawei is China's really tool to dominate the world. And the reason is you got 5G, fifth generation of wireless communication. Countries around the world, including ours, are putting in 5G networks.
Yeah.
5G permits the Internet of Things, which means all the devices in the world will be connected. Your car, your front door, your toaster, your pacemaker will be connected to 5G. Now, Huawei is the world's largest maker of network telecommunications gear. In other words, it's trying to wire the world with 5G. And As of the second quarter of last year, it was the world's biggest maker of smartphones. Thanks to the Trump administration, it's now the 6th largest maker of smartphones.
Wow.
But Trump administration is no longer in existence, and we don't know what Biden's going to do. Now, during the confirmation hearings for his Commerce Secretary pick, Gina Raimondo, she wasn't sure that she was going to keep Huawei on the Commerce Department's entity list. That's the list of companies that Americans cannot do business with without getting a license. And that triggered a firestorm, as it should have. And right now, she's sort of backtracked under pressure from Senator Ted Cruz, but, it's not clear that she has her heart in this.
Yeah. And I got to tell you how concerned I am about that. And even, we've talked about that as well.
Oh, yeah. Always. Gordon, when you talk about this dominance using Huawei and the 5G platform to own the world or be connected to the world because of all the back doors through it, is any country doing it right with China, in your opinion?
Well, we're doing it right. And I should have mentioned, the reason why 5G is so important is because if China does wire the world with Huawei equipment, it will be able to steal the world's data, feed it into its artificial intelligence system, which will give China an enormous advantage. Also, it may permit China to remotely manipulate those devices, which means if you got a pacemaker connected to the Internet of Things, China can turn you off or speed you up. Yeah. So really, this is the reason why it's important. We're doing it right because we're getting Huawei equipment out of our networks. In a prior time, we were buying Huawei equipment, especially in rural networks. Yeah. Trump administration's Federal Communications Commission said, no way, we're taking this stuff out. And we will be taking it out. And it's going to take a couple years, but we will be doing that. And also what we're saying is, look, you can't sell stuff to Huawei anymore. You can't sell chips. You can't license technology. We're doing it right. Britain's doing it right after some wobbling, but the Trump administration put a lot of pressure on Britain. And other countries like Sweden are doing it right, but there are a lot of countries that Drew was talking about that are doing it wrong. Yeah. So you've got Italy, for instance. We don't know what Germany's going to do. And the developing world is going Huawei largely because China's selling the equipment subsidized. It's sort of like selling heroin at a very low price.
Yeah, the first one's free, guys. You get this. When you talk about we're not providing or selling chips back to China for their technologies or back to Huawei, there is a concern I've seen in the auto industry. You can't get new cars at the pace of how the car makers want to build them because of our reliance on China, rare earths, and all the chips. How do we combat that?
Well, this is something that the Biden administration did 2 days ago when he signed his executive order on supply chain resiliency. That is building up from President Trump's initiative on decoupling the United States. So this really is, Alex Gray in the Trump administration, Peter Navarro were working on this, and the Biden administration, to its credit, is continuing it, at least we think so. But obviously what we need to do is to make chips in the United States. We got to get our supply chains out of China. This is going to be a long process. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a little bit expensive, but we obviously got to do it because we know that China will try to use its position in supply chains to obtain not economic goals, but geopolitical ones, like cutting us off.
Yeah. GordonGChang joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. GordonGChang is where you can go on Twitter to see his Twitter account. And, I think a lot of people ask, or maybe they don't ask the question, the genesis of how this all began, Gordon, with China. I mean, because people think to themselves, they're hearing all the news, everything that's happening, the power that China has, the way they do business, if you will, quote unquote, and stealing of intellectual property and the like, and all the things that we know. But when did it begin? What was the turning point in history where everything flipped?
There are a number of turning points. The one that people look at is when President Clinton, 1999, signed a trade agreement with China, which paved its way into the World Trade Organization. They joined in December 2001, the Bush administration, but that was really just an inevitable result of what Clinton did. Also, people point to the time during the Clinton years when we gave up the normal PNTR, permanent normal trade relations. We stopped talking to them about, stopped talking to the Chinese about human rights in connection with trade. One could go back, let's say, to 1972 when Nixon went to China. There are a number of different places. There's a couple places that people don't talk about. And that is, American presidents have, especially in 3 times, rescued China's Communist Party. And one of them was 1972, as I mentioned. Nixon goes to China. People talk about that. But the reason why that was important was because the Communist Party was sort of on its last legs then. This was after a decade of the Cultural Revolution, the most abnormal time in history. Communist Party was weakened, but Nixon goes to China and legitimizes the party in the eyes of the Chinese people. 1999, that trade agreement with Clinton, China was on the rocks then, and then basically Clinton legitimizes them, brings them into the World Trade Organization, and there is a terrible story going forward. The other is, and this one really rankles me, and that is George H.W. Bush, 1989, after the Tiananmen massacre. He sends Brent Scowcroft as his secret private emissary to Deng Xiaoping, the leader of China, telling him, don't worry about what we're going to do. You know, we have to put sanctions on it, but that's because I'm forced by the American public to do it. Don't worry about it. We've got your back. The Communist Party could have failed after 1989. So those are 3 times when American presidents have rushed to the rescue of communism, and Biden, I'm worried, is going to do number 4.
That worries me too. But before the pandemic hit, we had what looked like a glimmer of revolution or freedom bubbling in Hong Kong. And I thought, wow, maybe there's a tipping point here. Did that all die with the pandemic?
The pandemic certainly dampened the protest movement because people didn't go into the streets. A number of other things happened. You've got China imposed its national security law on June 30 of last year, which is basically, as they say, the end of law. Also, Xi Jinping decided that he was going to totally repress Hong Kong. It isn't over yet, because what we have in Hong Kong is not a protest movement, but an insurgency. Insurgencies can melt away when they're under pressure, as they are now in Hong Kong, but they come back. And we know the people in Hong Kong have been protesting in large scale since 2003. And there can be like half decade or so where they just are completely quiet, and then it comes back. Right now it's a little bit different because China is taking Hong Kong and making it, basically another Chinese city. In other words, bringing totalitarianism to Hong Kong. So I don't know how this is going to end up, but it's not over yet, Mike, and we got to support it. President Trump supported it. I don't know what Biden will do. Biden ran on the campaign that he's going to be the human rights president. He mentioned Hong Kong, but I don't know if he's actually going to do anything about it. So we got to pressure him to make good on his word when he ran for president.
He bent to cultural norms. Sorry to interrupt you, but that statement last couple days ago was really disturbing.
It was disgraceful. It's the most disgraceful thing that I've heard from any American president, and I'm old. The reason why it was disgraceful was because what he's saying is that, first of all, he was trying to explain to the American people and justify what China was doing. What China was doing was not just repressing its people, not just human rights abuses. What China's been doing is crimes against humanity and genocide. And what Biden was saying was that this was the result of different cultural norms. Now, first of all, that's not right. But second of all, what he was saying was that China culturally are brutal maniacs. And that's one step away from saying that Chinese are racist. So here we got a guy who lectures us on white supremacy, who almost gives us a white supremacist statement. So from the premise of being woke, this was not a good thing. But from our premise, because I'm not woke, and I'm sure you guys are even less woke than I am, I mean, this is just horrible.
I'm in for a rude awakening. That's all I can tell you right now.
But the thing is that this This is Third Reich type stuff.
Oh, yeah. And we get shut down when we make that comparison.
Yeah.
How dare you bring up the Nazi? No, it's accurate.
I mean, if I were a German Nazi, I would say, how dare you compare me to the People's Republic of China? Because what these guys in China are doing are worse in many respects. Matter of fact, what China's doing right now is worse than what the Nazis did prior to the mass exterminations of 1941. The mass exterminations are the only thing that really separates China from Germany. And indeed, let's remember that Uyghurs and Kazakhs and other minorities are actually dying in those camps. So this is not mass extermination, but this is also killing. And this is state-sanctioned killing, state-sanctioned slavery, state-sanctioned rape. You know, you go down the list of it.
Well, I'll tell you, it's always a pleasure to have you here with us, and it's great that certainly that you are here. I think that these are deep dive topics that really people need to talk about more, because as we look into the future and who are the individuals that are, as you might say, sanctioning this behavior and allowing this to happen, as opposed to the people who are pushing back and some of what the former president was able to do. If we don't have this conversation, and we don't identify what's happening and then articulate what the problem is, and certainly as because I think a lot of people, Gordon, and you probably hear this all the time, is that it's over there. It's too far away. It's not affecting us. It doesn't have anything really to do with us because, and then they try to fill in that blank with something that makes them feel comfortable. When the truth is that it does. All of it.
It is over here. It is over here, Drew, because last year China was encouraging Americans, inciting violence on our streets. They did that also around the January 6th Capitol Hill riot. Yeah. So it's also this year as well. And this is more than just subversion. When you encourage people to riot, this is an act of war, and China's been doing it, so it's over here. And we could lose our republic because we have a divided society. If this gets worse, we know what can happen. So it is over here now, and we have everything to lose.
Is this administration talking to you, or do you have an ear you can bend inside?
Me, personally?
Yeah.
No. I mean,
damn it.
That's not the answer we wanted.
I know. I hope and pray. I light candles every night, hoping that somebody in Washington is listening, because I know your appearances on news outlets, on cable channels, and your Twitter feed are more educational than what I'm hearing out of our State Department.
And important and critical. Important.
Oh, do you know, I don't know if you got time, but do you know our State Department actually said that the anal COVID tests that were administered to our diplomats was done by China by mistake, in error? I mean, if I'm the State Department, I'm saying, hello, we're throwing Chinese diplomats out of our country in protest for this.
Right.
This is a violation of the sovereignty of the United States of America. Yeah. And our State Department is saying, oh, this is just a minor error. No, it's not.
Yeah. GordonGChang joining us on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News. We always appreciate a few minutes of your time. Thank you so much. GordonChang.com, and of course, GordonGChang if you want to follow on Twitter. Great to see you this
guys.
morning. All the best.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that's going to just about wrap it up here from CPAC 2021. What? Oh, wait. Do we get a final word from? Do you want to come in and give us a final? Here, give us a final word.
I'll circle back.
All right, so John Cassio, our program director, is going to circle back on.
Stole from TracyBeanz 3 hours ago. It's incredible.
It's. I'm looking forward to Monday when we get to hear from and hear more about and talk more about the president and what he's going to say. It's going to be okay. We got. I don't hear any music yet from Jake, so maybe I'll even ask Gordon while he's still. Oh no, there's. What a tease. Aren't you interested to hear what the president has to say? Isn't it going to be amazing what he has to say?
Jake is repressing us.
I know. No, it's okay. Keep it up. It's all right. We got to go. Clocks and it matters. All right, thanks to everybody for watching and listening. DrewSteele.com, live from CPAC 2021 on Daybreak 92.5 Fox News, right all along. We'll see you on Monday, Southwest Florida.
This is Daybreak 92.5 Fox News.
Is your car a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it? Would you rather be driving a brand new Nissan equipped with all the latest technology and safety features? Hey, Aaron Walker here from Naples Nissan. If your trade-in is a 2012 or newer, yes, a 2012 or newer with less than 120,000 miles on it, we'll give you the original base MSRP for it so you can drive home in a brand new Nissan. Bring us that old Chevy, Honda, Toyota, Ford. We don't care where you bought it from. We don't care if you bought it new or used. Go to NaplesNissan.com. Pick out your favorite new Nissan model with Bluetooth, backup camera, and that new car smell. You can have it all